debate. What's
we're
up,
live.
ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? We're going to go ahead and talk about hashtag change the cover Geek Chat open house, which I allow anybody to chat. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the controversy that's going on. And with me is, what did you call yourself?
Micromonics, my friend.
Micro Mike.
Micromonics. Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's the name. I might be inebriated, but that's probably a rumor. It's probably a rumor.
Yeah, we've been trying to. I'm just starting the live stream right now. It's an open house anyway, so anybody can show up anytime if they want to talk about what's going on. Hopefully,
can you give me the link, sir? I'll see if I can get more people.
Yeah, I can link the live stream right now. It's like right here.
Yeah, please give it to me.
Yeah,
people.
It's dun, 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 dun. Fortunately, I kicked out Matt, who's also known as Mental Lizard, and I felt bad. Hopefully, he can come in. Let me see if he can invite him. Yeah, something's wrong. Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Oh, shit.
What?
I don't remember your name on Twitter.
Yeah, it's Hero for Nuts.
Hero for Nuts.
Hero for Nuts.
Okay.
I had to change names because it's just ridiculous.
The nuts are ridiculous.
Yeah, the nuts are the ridiculous.
It was like you're like a Padawan for nuts. Now you're a hero. You have grown. You have become more
nuttier than ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, because tonight we're going to go ahead and talk about the controversy of the cover, which you wanted to talk about for a while.
I am extremely angry about it. Yes.
Yeah, especially the cover angry. Joker and Batgirl in a creepy sort of pose, but it was okay. It didn't look like it was going to be, I wasn't really offended by that image.
No, it was a very nicely drawn image. It presented pretty much everything that you need to know about Joker and Batgirl almost in one cover. It was a very, very amazing, like the emotion in it was so raw. You could even see just the Batgirl's tears. The eyes were amazing. They did a really good job with that cover, but they didn't want to show it because people got like butthurt,
upset with it,
very butthurt for no reason.
Yeah, and especially those who don't read that the Killing Joke comic. It's like I read that comic.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a very interesting one. Oh man, it's just sad how they treated the artists on this one, because they were like getting mad about this, like change the cover. Like, why do we want to change the cover?
It's not even the official cover. It's a variant cover. It's like a random cover that's going to come out for it. It's like, hey, look, this is my like my tribute to the Killing Joke. This was it. And nope. They didn't give shits. They didn't give any Alex Life shits.
The cover. I have the hard book cover of it, which I'll probably show on the live stream right now.
You're way more hardcore than I. Look at that. See, I have like a YouTube channel I watch. You have the cover. Look at that.
Yeah, I have the hardcover.
Damn. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's a pretty good. It's just, you can see right here. It's the hardcover. I got it off of Hastings.
Man, just because of feels, that cover's gone now. Just that cover, that's all it is. If that image was inside the comic book, they wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, they wouldn't care.
That's what I'm saying. They would never open the goddamn thing to even look to get offended by it.
Yeah, but did you see Vermeer's I forgot his name, Vermeer's live stream when they were debating the whole issue about that comic?
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I watched that thing, and that lady was crazy.
I just assume that it's gonna be it's misogynistic.
No, she kind of said that the whole part of the whole thing was rape, but by looking at the part where Barbara Jordan was like, hurting, she was hurting. She was shot, naked, stripped naked, and and of course they had an issue with it, assuming they interpret it as rape.
Right. Well, here's the thing, and I kind of agree with them on that one. That maybe it was trying to allude to more because comics have kind of a thing where they can't show anybody kind of in lewd stances, so it's kind of already SJW.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they can't really reach anything like that. So yes, it is just her being naked, her being stripped down, and them taking pictures of her. But it does kind of allude to it. But that's not such a big thing. I think is what I want to say. It has to be open. We have to have like some kind of like. It doesn't matter what happened to her. Well, she's an imaginary character. Right. This is a story. This is something evolves. This is something big. This is a part of her life. This is what she had to go through. And I don't know. Eliminating that just basically makes everything trivial, makes every like piece of art trivial. There's no point in making comics if every single thing can be changed because someone says, "Oh, I don't like it."
I know.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you know what? I hate
interpretation of it was like Joker was just doing it as a joke because he was like stripping her naked and taking pictures of her.
Yeah, he wanted to fuck over Gordon. That's what the whole thing was.
Yeah, he wanted to mentally crazy. Try to destroy him.
Yeah,
mentally,
exactly.
Because Joker's more psychological.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing about Joker is that I don't know why people are getting so freaking upset with that because they don't. If they ever read most of the DC comics, there's like two different variations of the stories that you hear: the cartoon one and the adult version.
Yes, and anyone that says that comics are for kids are fucking crazy.
Yeah, because they never read the Detective Comics before.
I mean, and this is not DC because I haven't DC'd in a long time, but yeah. Marvel themselves they created their own little subverse for just like kid stories, which was
especially the shoujo verse.
Yeah, that's that kind of stuff.
We have with the Marvel
Spider-Man, we have Wolverine, we have Hulk, we have Giant Girl, which was a variant in Wasp. We have Storm. It's mainly like look at this as like kid friendly universe. Hey everyone, hey, we're gonna stop Doctor Doom today. All right, kind of shit. Thank you. We're like when it comes to teenagers, that's basically like teen plus. That's basically what these comics are, and these are darker stories. These are stories that people
reach out to the public. You read the Runaways, right?
I have not, but I know what it is.
But man, it's so funny. I was like reading that, and they had this one character that's like an alien, and she's like a really opium. You're staying quiet, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that whole story is like teenage drama, but they go into the serious adult issues. And that whole series was just like messed up in the Marvel verse because their dream was to become a part of the Avengers.
Oh my god! And I have like a great like not story, but a great like characters I want to put into like the Marvel verse. If I had the ability to put in the cinema, I would put the GLA up there. I would make the GLA. I wouldn't even care.
The Justice League.
No, the GLA. This is Marvel verse.
Oh,
it's the Great Lake Avengers. They're
the Great Lake. Oh yeah,
they're defunct superheroes that want to be famous, so they use Avengers in their names.
With what's her name?
Yeah, with Squirrel Girl. You know what? With Big Bertha
tried to mock the Great Lake Avengers.
Yeah, I don't know if you read the Civil War. I was basically around during the Civil War in the comic era, and he went after them as soon as the Civil War started, and they were like the first people that converted to the registration, but he tried to attack them anyway. It was fucking hilarious.
I know he's that crazy.
Yeah, fucking loved it.
Yeah, there's another one that I remember, the one with Luke Cage.
Oh yeah, the Here's for Hire.
Luke Cage is like he tried to make they try to throw pop shots at him, like about his headband.
Really?
Yeah, he used to wear a headband back in the days.
Yeah,
because back in the 80s or 70s, if I remember, they were like making fun of him about it, going like, why does, and they were like, they were doing this joke about him, because I remember someone did a skit saying, why does a brother wear a tiara? And then Luke replied saying, it's a headband. It's a headband. And I was like, what the hell?
You know what though?
And they were like, and of course one of the people were like, it's a tiara on your head. I don't know what you talking about, boyfriend, but you are wearing a tiara on your head. And he was like pissed off. Luke Cage was like so pissed off about that. That's why he stopped wearing that headband.
I don't know, man. Those characters were very much introduced during the black exploitation time.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that they're still around because, good lord, Luke Cage is amazing, and the Falcon is also amazing. I really like Falcon. So I'm glad that they're around still. And that's the thing is, I have a friend that works with me. He's a coworker, because that's what a person that works with you is, and he's a black guy, of course. And his favorite character of all time is Static Shock, and he's just so sad whenever they never ever, whenever they don't introduce him in a comic, he gets so sad. Like he's like so pumped for Injustice, he bought it, he got all the DLC because he's like, Static Shock's gonna be in it. I'm gonna fucking love this. And they instead of introducing him, they got rid of him for Zod.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got so pissed. It's funny, but he's a good guy. But Static Shock is his character because he relates to him because like family issues, and his best friend was a white guy, and just like he grew up in high school, kind of like following Static Shock. So he like in himself, if he was ever a superhero, he'd be Static Shock. That's what he tells everyone. He even got dreads because.
Did you know that in the cartoon in the Justice League Ultimate, he appeared in that show?
Yes. And he tells me about it all the time.
Yeah, I was surprised by it. I was like, oh man, they really screwed him over.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, comics are crazy, but at this point, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Suddenly, things are getting a bit more crazy than they were, and at first they were crazy. Like they were getting, like out of nowhere, female Thor came out. Falcon taking over Captain America. Then now we have this whole comic issue going on. I don't know what's going on. Don't get me wrong, Falcon taking over Captain America is pretty good. I don't mind that. I think that's pretty good. But female Thor, especially the writing, is really bad. If female Thor was okay, but the writing was better, I'd be okay with it.
I'm lucky I didn't see it.
Hasn't Captain America been replaced a few times?
Yes, he has.
So I mean, it's not too uncommon for him to have to step out or get knocked out of his place, and then somebody else happens to take over for a while.
Completely agree. Plus, Falcon is a perfect choice for it too. To be honest, I think Falcon would have been the one that would have gotten the reign.
But I do think it definitely does serve as a good comparison to the Thor thing, because obviously the Captain America thing, there's sort of a precedence or a history of that happening. And then with Thor, you can sort of see the contrast of when it works and when it doesn't work.
Yeah, they tried it with the Patriot, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yeah, you're correct on that. And plus, oh fuck, I don't remember anymore. Young Avengers, what Oh, I got this.
Yeah,
Young
because they try to
Avengers.
make the Patriot like a replacement for Bucky,
I got this.
but
Yeah, you're right. It was the Patriot. That's exactly what I'm talking about, but I forgot the name.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
I remember he appeared in the Civil War.
yeah, they started a superhero, like a Teen Titans for Marvel, and the Patriot was there, and Hulkling, which was actually a Skrull, was Hulk, and a gay version of Thor was there as well. He was like Wiccan. He was actually like a spellcaster, but he liked Thor so much that he decided to be Thor. uh, he was the incarnation of the Scarlet Witch and the original Vision. Billy uses magic for various effects, such as lightning, generation, and locating people. So he was basically like a spellcaster, but he looked like Thor. And it worked. It worked very, very well. Him and Hulkling actually were a couple. And there's no problem with that. I liked it. The entire Young Avengers I loved, mainly because I love Stature, but that's here
I understand.
that's here and there.
Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff to cover. And I can't think of anything.
You guys didn't hear any of the
Let's see
background
if
noise
anybody in the
before,
audience
right?
wants to
No,
ask
heard
questions.
nothing of it.
Okay,
Mark
okay,
Miller,
because I just realized that I had a very lewd conversation with somebody like right before I plugged the mic in. But now that I think of it, I don't know if I have any other microphones on this computer, so like I worried for a second, like did something catch something?
No, you were completely silent until you
Oh,
mentioned.
okay, that's great.
Oh, good. Roby Punk just decided to put the cover on her freaking profile.
What? Who did?
Remy Punk.
Oh, Remy Punk. Yeah, she did it a while ago.
Oh boy.
I don't know who
Man,
Remy
there's a
is.
lot of things to cover. There's like a lot of people, I don't know, especially you saw that live stream cup, right?
No.
Wait, which one?
The one with Vermeer debating with a feminist
Oh, that
about
one.
Yes.
what do you think? What do you think of her?
She. Wait, just to double check. I'm sorry. I'm a little foggy right now.
Yeah,
It was
when she
with
talked about the comics.
it was with Ver and Sargon was sitting silently in the
Yeah,
background.
and Vermeer.
Yes.
Okay.
Or Vermeer, whatever his name is. I forget his name. I keep forgetting.
If
I'm
you hear
sorry, I
that,
just wanted to double check because sometimes, like, when you're dealing with a lot of people with similar but different opinions, you can sort of mix them up in your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when she brings up some crazy ass stuff.
I mean, I've never met the woman before. I've never had a conversation with her, but I've found her stance very, very odd because I don't know. I don't really understand people who get. It's hard to explain. I found like she wasn't really sure or committed to how much she wanted to hold on to sort of the politically correct end of things versus the comic book fan, true to continuity kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed like she kept wavering sort of back and forth between the two. She kept going on and on about how she is so much of a comic book fan, but then on this one particular issue, which is just rehashing an old storyline, then she kept saying, but for some reason that's not all right. And I felt like the consistency was a little fuzzy.
Yeah, because it kind of surprised me when she mentioned that the whole thing was the whole cover apart when Barbara was shot, and then of course Joker kind of took pictures. You have you read that comic before, The Killing Joke?
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a first print of it actually. First print trade, I think.
All right. Explain to me the story. Was Barbara? Because my interpretation was that Joker took pictures of her, and that was it. because I know that Barbara was in pain and shot, but most people could interpret the whole thing in the comic panel as like it's rape, and the lady kind of explained that the whole thing was rape, and I was like, what?
Well, I think it's more that that was the point, was to have it be like viewer interpretation, because the Joker's just fucking batshit. So.
Well, yeah, that was an important part of the stream that just like I was sort of banging my head against the wall. I'm sorry to interrupt, but uh, was that the way that whole thing worked out. I never read the comic myself. I know of the storyline, but I never read it myself. But the way she put it was that. So here I am, paraphrasing somebody else, but the way she put it was that it's left ambiguous in the comic that everyone read. But if you're somebody who read like the behind the scenes notes published years and years after the fact, the writer and artist behind it, Alan Moore, admitted that he kind of wanted it to imply rape more, but he wasn't allowed to. But the point is that an editor's note published years after the fact saying what happened or what didn't happen, that's not what the readers saw, and that's not what's official continuity.
Yeah.
So I felt that was a really weird piece of evidence that she was trying to wave in front of everyone, because it's like I've never read, Alan Moore's notes. I've never looked into the behind the scenes stuff. I tend to just read the comics as they come around, as I run into them. And so I just found that was a really weird defense on her part.
And the thing is, most comics nowadays, including at that time, they cannot show any kind of explicit sexual like coupling of any sort. A lot of times it was very implied. In other words, Daredevil and Black Widow, I believe that was it. They were living together, and it was heavily implied that they were maybe sleeping together, but they couldn't say anything because that's the way comics work, apparently. Because everyone has to PG it.
Yeah,
everything has to be PG.
In Watchmen, they imply it. In the movie, they just full on show it for 3 fucking minutes.
to be fair, at the end of Watchmen, they kind of got on anyway. Brown chicken, wow wow. Freaking have to wear the costume. Yeah, to be fair, if I was a superhero, I'd have to wear the costume too. I'd have to be Wolverine.
Yeah, here's the image of the new Power Girl that they're gonna be introducing.
But here's the thing that so say the rape thing is there. So say all that's there. The Killing Joke is not a teen thing. From the beginning, it is not a teen thing. It is, not a teen thing, but not a kid thing. It
was an adult thing, which was an adult story with adult issues, adult situations.
Alan Moore, his entire thing is that he wants to bring comics into actual stories. He wants to make them gut-wrenching. He wants to make you feel things. That's what the Watchmen is. That's what the League is. That's what the Killing Joke is. That's what pretty much everything he's ever made in comics is, and that's how come he's so sought after. That's how come he was just so amazing of an author, because he brought actual stories into the thing. He made you think about these characters. He made you care about these characters. What happened to Barbara Gordon was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And the entire time you had to, you see those pictures, it implies rape, maybe, and in the future you found out that yes, it was supposed to imply rape because you can't show that shit. That's part of her character. That's part of her growing. That's part of becoming everything that she has to do. That is her making a different part of her. That's becoming a hero. That's her showing that she can overcome it. They become Oracle to help Batman become like this. To get these criminals, to get them behind bars, to show more of her character. Just because something bad happens to her doesn't mean that's the end of her. That doesn't mean that's the thing. That's not the thing that defines her. The Killing Joke does not define her.
It made her stronger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe
Yeah.
I'm drawing an incorrect comparison here, but you could almost say she was the damsel not thrown in the refrigerator, in the
Yeah.
sense that the setup looks kind of like, she's her pain, her torture is supposed to motivate and cause other characters to experience growth in their storyline and everything. But the flip side is that actually no, she's the one who gets, who develops further along and isn't stagnated by what happens. It's and I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a little off topic, but I find it very frustrating how I feel like there's a certain group of people, which that particular guest on the other program sort of shares this view, that rape is a very serious real world issue. But then if somebody wants to try to communicate or open a dialogue about it in any way, shape, or form, then that has to get shut down and that has to be censored. And I just can't quite wrap my head around that. Like, this would be the perfect opportunity to tell a story about somebody who is victimized and then rose out of the ashes to become a bigger, better person to, sort of defeat the evil that, it took advantage of them.
You could be right about that, because in a way it did bring Barbara into the light of who she is, and even though she was vulnerable in that situation, she still was in the fight. In a way, it kind of made me see how her character developed, especially in Birds of Prey. She kind of, started out, she may be disabled, but she actually did the best she could by helping out a lot of people, in a way. Even though she may be disabled, but she does do her best as Oracle.
And to be honest, that's very amazing. Just the eye in the sky, showing Batman, like giving him like the backgrounds of characters, stuff like that. She's just an amazing character. She grew from something
But
to something completely.
here's the thing:
Shows
there's
how
like
strong
two
she is.
different versions of her.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the one where she is a Commissioner Gordon. She became the commissioner in Batman Beyond, and there's another one where she became disabled. It's like two different universes. And there's like several different versions of Batgirl.
Yeah, but in like the multiverse, you have to kind of expect that.
Yeah, I know, and it's kind of interesting. It's like there's like different personalities, different like Earth 2, for example. Oh boy.
But you know what, this hashtag that's been floating around, it just sort of brings up the question, like, what are you allowed to talk about anymore? Because on the one hand, it's sort of fronted or run or pushed by a group of people who are saying that we need to talk about serious stuff. We need to somehow integrate serious stuff into our media, that our media can't just be fun and games anymore, that it has to be serious business. And yet this is a serious, mature, adult sort of subject or concept, and it's immediately censored. It's immediately
Oh, sorry.
people want to put it away or bury it or something, and I don't get those conflicting messages.
I know. I don't know why they wanted to censor this image of Joker and painting the face of Batgirl with a smiley face.
Yeah, it's barely anything, to be very honest. It just shows her in fear of the Joker. Who isn't in fear of the Joker? And I said this on Twitter, that if it were me, she's doing much better than I would have done.
I know. And I'm gonna go ahead and change the subject here. Here's another thing that popped up. A lot of people were talking about it. The new Power Girl, which I'll probably show you guys.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, the new Power Girl. Let's see if I can get the image up and run. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the entire screen here. Let's see if I can get the entire screen up and running. Share. All right, here we go. Even though I am totally on the double screen here, you can see right here the new Power Girl.
What?
Yeah, with Afro puffs and everything.
What? Okay, first of all,
That's the new Power Girl.
is this like the same universe that the current Power Girl lives in? So say like if they travel to that universe that they'd hang out and chill together.
Yeah, according to this, you can read, and I linked it down on the side for you guys to check it out. Her name is Tanya Spears.
Oops,
She's the new Power
did
Girl.
it again.
And she will be
Play with your heart. Got lost in the game.
Oh, baby. That's pretty much what they're trying to do. They're trying to make her, and she's coming out in February 2015.
Oh god.
Which has already been out. But a lot of people are so used to the old Power Girl. Like, for example, let's see.
Let's be very honest. Half of the old Power Girl's power is that she had, like, for no reason cleavage. No reason cleavage. That's
Actually, there's a reason why she has cleavage.
Oh yeah? Go on.
There's actually a reason for the boob window. The reason why is that it's a very convoluted plot line because comic books.
Got it.
But in the end, basically, I think she was originally wearing like Superman's emblem on her chest.
And then she tore it off or something?
And she goes through like this rebellious phase where like she makes a proclamation that she stands for herself as an individual alone, and I'm not, the buddy of, that I am my own superhero. And she tears it off to, signify her individuality. And it happens to cause a boob window because comic books.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the artists were just like, I can't ignore this opportunity. But at the same time, like, there's a reason why she's basically missing a logo. It's like that's where the logo was, and it's missing. And that's why there's a boob window. And then over time, they just integrated it in, and she just doesn't have anything covering that spot. And then, and then over time, I don't know if you could say the meaning's been lost, but the meaning has been not a major focus anymore at that point. And so I guess what I don't understand is the circle on this new Power Girls outfit, because unless it's tied back into the tearing off of the logo, she doesn't necessarily need a spot there.
Can I say one thing? Just one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I probably
Go ahead.
I probably could have kept going. Sorry.
Go.
I wanted confirmation. I'm sorry. Boob
Yeah,
window is the
confirmation.
best word fucking ever. Go on.
I'm just browsing through, seeing what Tanya Spears is, because they're trying to make her into this new character that everyone wants in the DC universe, because they want to show variety, of, I forgot the word.
Diversity.
Diversity, yes.
Diversity,
because everyone wants diversity. Shoot, they already had diversity back in the Super Friends, remember?
Yes, Aquaman.
No, not Aquaman. What's his name?
I wasn't paying attention.
Native American and the Mexican one.
Oh, Apache Chief.
technically
Oh
the
my
Wonder
god, the
Twins.
worst name.
Go ahead.
Yes, that's true. The Wonder Twins also. but Apache Chief. No
Cup.
Chuck.
Apache Chief. Crack,
Yes?
your mic's. You said you wanted to say something.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I got a brain fart. I like her jacket. I like her jacket because it's sort of, I know this is like a really weird thing to say. I don't know if this was the intention of the designer, but if you ever wanted to emphasize a character's chest without having them scantily clad, the perfect way to do that is to frame the edges of a jacket in a way to really point towards sort of the center area on that spot. And I think that's kind of a clever design. I don't know if they really
A
wanted to
clever
draw
mini
attention.
jacket.
Yeah, I don't know if they really wanted to draw attention to that area, but I just realized that that's kind of a clever way to do it while a character is still totally closed. Like it's still a way to point arrows in that direction.
Yeah. 'Cause they were
Um,
trying to make her into this a strong teenage girl who basically has upper body strength.
yeah. I I don't know quite what to make of her because like I'd have to sort of see like the comic where she debuts and sort of how it clicks into everything else.
Well, there
I
is
mean,
images of her on. It's under Tanya. It's on your Tanya Spears, which I can link for you.
uh, it's okay, I can search, but like, is she just off the top of anyone's head, is she directly replacing a specific uh, uh, is she like directly replacing Power Girl, or is
I
it like
don't know personally because
okay.
I haven't really got into the DC universe in a while. I've been stuck in the house, but I'm assuming that she is because like they say that she's the new Power Girl, and she will be featured in 2015, which according to this, she's coming out, and I'm assuming that everyone does like the new character. Hopefully,
As long
yeah,
as she's a
man.
new universe, like completely new universe, because DC does the multiverse very crazily,
Hmm.
I'm okay with it. I don't care. I really don't care.
Okay, let's see who wants to.
I'm just being honest. I really don't care. Do what you want with Power Girl, as long as it's another universe. Because
Fire.
if it's another universe, there's a good chance it could be someone else. It's
Yeah,
kind of
there's a lot of comic book characters that they should. I don't know why they want to get offended by that idea because they did this with Spider-Woman, especially the part where the body, bending over, but it was the same exact style as Spider-Man, one of the
butt, you
Spider-Man
mean.
covers that they did.
The butt, right? The spider butt. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, the spider butt
Spider
controversy.
butt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just gotta say, Spider-Man wore it better.
Yeah, he wore it better. He had that
wore it better.
ass
The
that
end.
everyone liked.
I
Yes.
would take Peter Parker ass. No big deal.
Yes, we can take the Peter Parker ass anytime. Yeah, because he always had that ass that everyone likes to watch.
And that bulge.
And that bulge, yeah, that bulge is so fine.
I'll admit I've always found female counterparts to Spider-Man very awkward.
I agree.
Just because it's not that I have anything against an arachnid woman swinging around New York City and beating up bad guys. It's just that, like you guys just pointed out, Peter Parker strikes any of those poses and people are like, oh, look at the Spider-Man and his weird pose, isn't he so cool? And then you do that with a female figure and suddenly everyone's minds goes in a very different direction and suddenly it's not cool, it's sexist and it's messed up and blah blah blah. And
I know.
yeah, and
Thank
it's
you.
and
Agreed.
just people always act shocked when they do when they do something like that, and then it turns out, oh my gosh, now it's sexist because it's female, and it's like, well, yeah, maybe there's a reason why it kind of works best as Spider-Man. Yeah, I think if everyone could calm down, it wouldn't be a big deal. But given how hypersensitive everyone is, sort of right now in our current internet culture, it is kind of a little too hot to handle.
Have you seen Silk?
Which one?
No, I just mean in general.
The series? The series?
No, because what happened is one more day, they pretty much killed off Mary Jane's relationship with Peter because he decided he wanted Aunt May to live. And that was probably one of the most controversial comic books ever because that didn't make any fucking sense. Because Aunt May died.
I don't know why they do that.
Oh no! Let's get her back,
Oh
but
no!
I'm not married to Mary Jane anymore, so I can be single
I
again.
didn't realize he was always he was like a clone. And then then he became a clone. Actually, he came back, and then they find him to be a clone. And then he finds his own clones of other clones. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I can't even tell anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of
all
real
weird.
Spider-Man,
and which one's the?
But what I wanted to mention is because in what was the comic book? Oh my god, it's the one with the Orb and Nick Fury, where they all find out the secrets of everybody. He finds out that he has this girl that was actually bitten by the same spider, and that she was in a coma, and so he goes to save her. Her name is Silk, and she turns out to be his new love affair.
Ah.
I just linked the picture of Silk, who's basically this woman that's covered in complete web. I have heard nothing of her since, and I assume that she'd probably be one because she's basically like a love interest. The end of Peter Parker. There's no other of her character other than I want to make love.
I'm surprised. Her name is Cindy Moon.
Yeah.
It's interesting how many different ways people can draw Silk's costume.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll show it to the audience right now. I'll see if they want to. So you can see right here. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the costume. Ta-da!
It's because she's basically covered in webbing. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you see it right here.
In
Like,
webbing.
That's like wow.
The end.
The end.
Yeah, it's like even in the end of the Spider-Verse, the entire idea is that
she could
I have
produce
a heart
her
for you,
own.
Peter. I love you, Peter. Of course, I'm doing the Batman voice. She's not Batman, but I love you, Peter.
I know that's like kind of weird though.
It is very fucking weird.
Very creative, but kind of funny.
Yeah, because it's like
I'm surprised the SJWs didn't go after that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's a character that because she's definitely just covered in web.
Okay, I'll give the artist
right there.
I'll give the artist credit on one point about Silk. I'm just looking through the Google search images of Silk right now, but what I noticed distinctly is they're not trying to pose her like Spider-Man. And so even though she's technically just covered by webbing in a lot of her costume variants, she's not being put into, I guess, what you would call like awkward positions or positions that could be seen as awkward. So even though she's technically like less dressed than a female Spider-Man-y type character, she's not being put in a position that, might immediately set off alarm bells.
Let's see.
I like how we're trying to play like this Victorian prude meter game, looking at different character costumes and trying to determine how much it will ruffle petticoats.
Yeah, because a lot of them, like for example, let's see. Let me see if I can find a She-Hulk costume.
Have you seen Gwen Stacy?
Gwen Stacy, go ahead and show it, man. Go ahead and show it now.
Let me give it to you because I can't really link it.
Well, see, when you say Gwen Stacy, you gotta talk about like what.
Oh, understood. In the Spider-Verse, there's a lot of different kind of versions of Spider-Man. That's kind of what happened. Is that since there's a whole bunch of different like universes that goes on, Spider-Man happens in different ways. And in this version, Spider-Man and her hang out for a while. She gets bitten by the spider, and she becomes the superhero. And in which case, Spider-Man actually becomes Lizard. She kills Lizard and figures out it's Peter Parker, and freaks out because she didn't care. She didn't care enough about Peter Parker. So it's kind of reverse. And this is her costume. If you can go ahead and explain it for the people, but it's basically just like the top is white and the rest is black, and it looks amazing. Like I would sign up for more Gwen Stacy. I want to watch this.
Yeah, I bought the first issue for that, and I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. See, she looks fucking awesome. I love it.
And see, the way you just described it, that is a very imaginative, interesting way that a character has been sort of reimagined or redesigned. And, you know, I'm not a huge comic book reader, but in terms of stories, whenever I hear a really creative reimagining, that always attracts me immediately. You know, not just the, we gave Thor's hammer to a girl. You know, that's a little too that sounds like such a lazy throwaway kind of explanation for things, where like what you just said, this whole idea of an alternate universe where things play out a bit differently, and so because events have been shifted around, Gwen Stacy is still Gwen Stacy, but she ends up as the Spider-Man. That sounds really interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
It's awesome. I would love to read more. Like if they just focus on her like alternate like world storyline, I would love that.
Yeah, that's great. It's just when you just do like this gender swap and you're like, I don't know, if I change the gender symbol next to this character in the character editor screen, you know, that to me feels like it's not really a wholehearted effort. Where what you just explained is somebody having to sit down and really rework the whole kit and caboodle to make it happen.
Right. Let me go ahead and show the image to everybody so they can see the new Gwen Stacy Spider-Man variant. Nope, that's wrong one. That one right here.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Apparently, in that universe,
I'll show you guys another one that's DeviantArt one.
Nice.
Yeah, she has the booty shorts and everything. And let's see. Oops.
But what I
That's
also
Mary
wanted
Jane in the
to
middle.
mention,
That's Spider-Man. I actually have to admit the artist that did this is pretty good.
what I also want to mention is that she was also, if I remember correctly, she was also a musician. And you know how like Spider-Man was like a wrestler? She was a musician, like a drummer that got fame because she was able to cling to walls. So she would like play her drums on top of like the ceiling.
Yeah, one of the audience members said that she's in a band called Mary Jane.
Yeah, there you go.
Go figure.
Oh, that's Valkyrie. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, another character that did get like kind of like maybe not a reimagining, but like an SJWing in a way, was Kamala Khan. But I think they did an amazing job with her, and I don't mind her. I actually love her. Like she's probably one of the better ones.
Well, there's a new Miss Marvel too.
Yeah, that's Kamala Khan.
That's
the
her?
new Miss Marvel. Yeah.
All right, let's show the audience
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Nobody ever fucking talks about her.
Yeah, nobody ever talks about her because they did such a good job with her that it didn't matter. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go ahead and let me get a picture for her, okay?
Yeah, go ahead. We're gonna show the audience, and I'll probably show the audience the villain version of Osborn, who became.
This is quick image church. Church. What else can I get? She's a very interesting character. I absolutely love her. They did such a good job with her.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt with a question about that's very controversial?
Of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
Except I'm outraged.
Did Tumblr ever find the issue of Superman where Lois was turned black?
Wait, what?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Okay, it was a comic published before the Civil Rights Movement, just to give you an idea of where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Lois Lane goes in a machine, and she gets race bended or something.
Race bended?
Yeah, it's a new
Yeah,
version of
meaning
Avatar.
she is turned black.
Avatar. Race bending.
Yes, she is turned black, and the whole issue is Superman has to turn Lois Lane back into a white person, or they can never be together again.
Oh god.
I'm so
Wow.
because like I saw that years ago in like a comic collector's collection, and I was like, why isn't the internet broken yet over this thing? And I thought by now, since like Tumblr has been tumbling and all this kind of stuff, that it would have already happened like months ago. But I just wanted to double check if they found it yet.
Well, note that not only did that happen, but Superman also killed the KKK, so, he kind of made up for it.
I have no idea why. What I wasn't allowed to look at the comic because like it was sealed in like the super plastic for all time and eternity. I could just stare at the cover, which obviously is made to look as sensational as possible. And it's like, what is going on?
And you had to read it. You had to look at it going like, oh man, this is bad. You probably went to the website called Superman's a Dick, right?
Yes, it's the
Been to
internet.
that website, seeing all the covers of Superman being like a bad, being like a total dick to everybody, including his own friends and allies.
You know what, though? There's one part of Superman that I absolutely love. Hold on, I have to find that later.
Go ahead.
Typing
Let's see.
typing it now, so give it some time. But it was that one little comic where that girl was gonna jump off the building, and he stops her, saying,
Oh yeah, that's great.
"Oh my God, that's so beautiful."
All right, let me go ahead and share this with people. Go ahead and share Miss Marvel's image.
Oh yeah, Miss Marvel's the best. I want to get back to her when we have a chance.
The new one with the teeny bopper.
Because the old one is called Captain Marvel now, so she's Miss Marvel.
Yeah, she's Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I could entertain people trying to tell them, look, this is very entertaining. This is very good imagery here. As you can see by the art, it's very, very lusciously colored and very interesting, blah, blah. Like, that's not going to help much. Because it does have a realistic sense. Especially when they're trying to, get the shadow.
Oh my God! Check out what. Can you please broadcast what Crack Cup just put? Because that's the best.
This has been the joke of Comic-Con for eons. You don't understand. Like at Comic-Con, everyone has their issue of this comic like front and center on their table while they're trying to sell other stuff, just because it makes people just stop dead in their tracks and ask if this is a joke, if this is some kind of April Fool's event or something.
Suicide prevention.
I'm
That's
sorry.
the best.
I'm sorry to hijack things. It's just like it just came to mind. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, has anyone? Ah.
Please jack things as high as you want to.
Okay.
All right, I'll show the image. I'll show the comic. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I've never seen more than just the front cover. It's never amused me enough to like look into it seriously. It's just one of those things you stare at. Like the time Superman was turned into a baby and Lois had to take care of him as her own.
And Silver Age was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, that kind of era, it's like I don't know if I want to invest my time in reading those comics, but the covers are pretty funny.
Yeah, because which one is it? The Silver Age?
I think so.
I'm not quite sure where this one comes from.
I think that's silver, maybe gold.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Not that well versed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta invite. What's his name? Because he got drunk and. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. I drunked. I'm sorry. I pressed the wrong button.
It's okay. It happens. I got drunk too one time. I accidentally had to lead somebody into.
I laughed so much at the comic that I clicked everything off,
I know.
including myself.
Yes, luckily they don't do the jokes about 9/11 on that one.
No, that's a
I
Spider-Man
know,
one.
especially that cover was kind of interesting when people try to talk about it.
Yeah, there you go. That's the comic I was talking about.
Yep. Pretty interesting though. Let me go ahead and put
What?
the.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Your doctor really did get held up, Reagan. It's never as bad as it seems. You're much stronger than you think you are.
Trust me.
And then she turns around and hugs him. That
Tries
thing
to hug him.
that thing literally made me cry once. I saw that at one point, and I suffer from depression, so I saw that and I fucking loved it. It stuck
I used to
with me.
remember back in the days they used to always do the comic books where I used to remember the one about Captain America and the drug thing. The drug the Dare comics that they do.
Yes.
I remember you
Oh,
remember
dear
those old
goodness.
comics when you were a kid reading reading Captain America trying to go to a kid. He accidentally was turned into a kid.
Okay.
Remember that one?
I don't remember that one. No.
It was
I've-
an old comic, but
I've seen the originals of that, but again, they were in plastic and I wasn't allowed. But
Oh my god.
I've seen the.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I wait for confirmation when I say stuff like that. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Note. I am drunked. Anyway, in my high school, we did have like dare rallies and stuff like that. And the one song that stuck with me, and every single time they ever did like a dare to do drugs rally, it was always "Turn Around," or
Oh
you know,
God!
that one song. Oh my! It was always that song, and it was
Turn
the best.
around.
Every now and then I feel a
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
God.
Fucking love it. So every time you say anything about dare, I instantly go to that. So I imagine Superman to that. That was the best. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for that
man.
vision.
It's been a while since I heard that song.
It's the best.
Every now and then I fall apart. I need
and
you
I need
now
you more than
tonight.
ever.
Need you more than ever. If you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay, fine. It's fine.
It's always in my head.
I love that song. It is one of my favorite songs because of that. It is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I gotta invite it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get somebody on. I know that Rhodey H was trying to get in. I feel bad. Another person was trying to get in too. Oh, there you are.
I'm gonna go grab
Who is
her.
where?
Let me see. There's got to be some comic books that. Let me see if I can remember. There was another one with a Spider-Man one with Peter Parker remembering trying to explain to a kid about a story where a guy tried to molest him. I remember that comic book.
Was it done with the best of intentions and succeeded, or
It was
best
basically
intentions?
about don't trust strangers.
Hmm.
It was like that message.
But was it like sort of projected or communicated successfully or
It
unsuccessfully?
was communicated successfully because he was trying to explain to a kid about his story growing up, about he used to know a guy that he trusted a lot, and of course that guy, when his uncle was dead, he explained his story to the kid that he didn't have a mentor, and of course the kid, he explained to the kid how this guy he trusted tried to do something wrong to him, and of course that guy did a no to him, tried to molest him, and he got scared, touched him in an inappropriate place, and tried to force him to do something he shouldn't have done. If I remember that comic book story, because it was available around the Aphis Comics thing, which I'm pretty sure Aphis does still have those things around, because the military used to always give it out to kids for free, which I
See,
believe I have one of them. Which let me see. I could
see,
probably show it to you guys.
I would like to bring like a collection of sort of these comics which cover topics effectively and ineffectively, and then a series of comics that are just horribly politically incorrect. And I almost want to like build some sort of meter or spectrum of how offensive things are considered, because
Yeah.
it just seems like which particular issues and series get picked on and which are left alone is kind of random.
Yeah, but I can
I
show you
agree.
one of them where they try to bring up the history of a store called Aphis, which the military uses. Now, let me see if I can find it. I think I have it with me somewhere. Be right back.
No problem. But before you do that, put that last link on the stream chat, please. On like for everyone. I don't think that's gonna happen. Wait.
I think he looked down upon
Because
us and said
they
no.
give them out.
Shit! I linked the same one twice. Damn my drunkenness.
Let's see if I can get it on the air
That's
here.
that's great.
Yeah, because I can show you guys the comic book here, so you can see. This is one of the comics that they gave out for free. It's one of the Avengers, which they also got Iron Man Reborn, which has that whole. I'm sorry if the light's a little bit.
Neat.
Yeah, it's one of the comic books that they tried to show off. Like right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like America supports you and our military and women. America supports you. Dot military, which this was belonged to the military, which they gave these out to for free for military kids to read for free, because it brings out like the history of the military, the store, APHIS, which it was interesting and educational. But that's pretty much what I knew.
The last link I just linked is educational and interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and show that one.
Quick, let
Thank
me
you.
interrupt your meaningful, heartwarming, touching story of nostalgia with ...
Sorry.
No, it's not you, JT. It's our drunk friend here. It's just you were going on about like, oh, these are comics that I remember, and these are special, and these are nice, and then Mr. Micro here is like, oh, hey, by the way, look at this. Just
Boobs.
By the way, Deadpool boobs.
Yeah, Deadpool's always been known to be the comedian.
He would run into a touching moment where like they had the soft filter lens on the camera, so everything's just a little blurry.
You know that Deadpool did get raped though, right?
What?
Deadpool got raped. Yeah, it happened.
That's horrible.
I think it was Siren who he had the hots for in the X-Men. At during the one of his like runs, I forgot what her name was. It was Typhoid Mary. Ended up
Typhoon Mary.
Typhoon, thank you. She ended up looking a lot like her. Like I think she got disguised as Siren, so he ended up believing it was Siren and having relations with her, and it ended up being Typhoid Mary, and thus waking up to her, who's apparently a crazy person anyway. So yeah, he did actually get raped by her because she lied to him the entire time.
Yeah, just Typhoon Mary's crazy.
She's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Actually, that will be a really interesting character to like start out the comic in sort of the usual Deadpool manner, and then it suddenly actually hits something super serious all of a sudden.
Yeah.
No.
That was pretty much his comic run, actually. He's always very stupid and crazy, but every single thing was ridiculous to him. Like T-Bone, who apparently, because Wade Wilson, the entire idea of him is that he's Wade Wilson, but T-Bone claims that he's actually Wade Wilson, and that Deadpool remembers T-Bone's past and not his own past. He's like manufacturing his past. So Wade Wilson actually didn't exist. He was someone else. And that Deadpool is
story where he killed Wade Wilson, and Wade Wilson wanted revenge against him and showed up in front of him.
Yes, it's fucking crazy. Deadpool's past is fucking crazy.
The origins of Deadpool, and nobody knows which one.
Yeah, and like nothing
It
is
up as he
ever really
goes.
told. Like I read the whole stories. It's never confirmed who actually Deadpool is. He just is Deadpool now.
It's just his secret identity.
Yeah.
I think it's best never to try to delve into it.
Yeah, pretty much. My favorite thing though is Deadpool has a tombstone made by fucking, what was the main guy again? Oh god, I forgot his name suddenly. I don't know how I forgot his name. Big guy. He came out in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was in gold and he had a chair. He's like, I have a chair.
Oh, Thanos.
Thanks, Thanos, that guy.
I have a chair.
I'm pretty sure that's one of his lines. And in the tombstone made by Thanos, because Deadpool is infatuated with death, who Thanos is also infatuated with, which of course Marvel's entity of death is a woman. Deadpool can't die, so he can't see death, so he can't seduce death. So Thanos made him a tombstone saying, cursed with life. So Deadpool can never die, so he can never seduce death.
he came back, I remember that one, when his whole body was gone.
Except, wasn't there like one thing where...
video game.
Wasn't there, like, didn't they have like did majority of him get like blown up, and then just his hand with flipping the bird was left, and like they had a funeral for that? I think that happened. I didn't read it. I just heard that happened.
I can imagine. I know he turned into goo at one point.
And he came back anyways.
Because he's cursed with life.
Regeneration powers were... Yeah, because the reason why he's like that is because of the cancer in his head.
And Thanos.
A factor that they couldn't heal.
It's that and Thanos. Because he fell in love with death, and death loved him back. He can't die because of
death by accident. Didn't realize because he thought death was a hot chick.
With the skull face.
With the skull face. Because he didn't mind the body. He liked the body.
It's funny.
I know. It's crazy.
Like comics are fucking crazy, and that's the thing about them. They can be as fucking crazy as they want to be, unless of course this shit happens, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they can be as fucking crazy as they want to be. They can go off the nail. They don't have to be realistic. That's the point. They don't need to be realistic. And if we have to ground every single thing, we can't get fucking crazy stories like this. We can't get something we can touch into. We can't do this anymore.
And something we can face palm over decades later.
Exactly.
Comics code.
The chair guy.
I have a chair.
That was the best description. You guys instantly knew who I was talking about.
Yeah, I
Thanos.
do.
Yes, because you saw Guardians of the Galaxy. I watched it too.
I could just imagine him dramatically turn around in his chair for the reveal and just say, I have a chair.
Yes, this chair is very comfortable.
I'm freaking hearing that in that guy's voice too. Which
You can imagine me
Like,
trying
I'm
to
sorry.
the galaxy with my bare fists. Actually, I have an Infinity Gauntlets
And a chair.
and a chair.
I'm pretty at Batman everything. That's my problem.
Got a
Anytime
chair.
I'm like a superhero, I always Batman them. Like it always starts off being like dramatic, like I will kill everyone. I will do everything I can to save everyone, and then I turn into Batman. I don't know what I do. It's just the way I work.
But, like, your Batman voice is better and more. I'm really tired.
Oh man.
Articulate than the Batman voice in the Dark Knight movies, in the Nolan movies, because it's like he really just talks like this. You can barely understand what he's saying. He knows that.
I have to do my taxes.
Now my chair. My chair is very big indeed. It's very comfortable.
If Thanos had a hashtag about his chair, what would it be?
Save the chair.
No, he doesn't really give a shit about the chair. He's more about himself ruling the galaxy. The chair is just his
Hashtag Infinity Chair.
He's like another version of Darkseid.
Yeah, he's pretty much exactly Darkseid, to be honest.
Yeah, he's like another version. He's like the DC version of Darkseid, but a lot of people like assume that he's the. Oh boy, I'm lost. I don't know what to say.
I'm just.
Yeah, that was like maybe a bad idea to invite me at the moment.
I know, but we're having fun talking about the whole issue, the whole controversy with comic books, and right now the new thing is, oh yeah, there's a new thing trending. It's called the Killing Joke.
Yep.
It really is.
Oh,
Yeah, it's French.
Look at that! Wow.
Yep, everyone's talking about the Killing Joke, and the new Bat. Oh look, the nice cover.
God, they're
Look at this
people
cover.
in that tag that are just like. You're
Yeah, look at
Show
this.
me the
Someone actually made something. Made a nice cover and everything. I'll show you guys on the stream here. Hold on. It's kind of funny. All right, let's see.
Oh, by the way, I asked Mundane Matt if he wanted to join the talk. He said he's at work though.
Yeah. You can see right here, this one. You can see the image of Batgirl. You see that?
What?
Taking a picture of
okay, that is kind of clever. That is.
I like it. Can someone like show who
I
tweeted
know,
that? I
she's
want
she
to
took
favorite
an
that tweet.
iPhone and just took a picture.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell that's Quinn.
I kind of like that Harley Quinn has sort of Sandhawk, a Sand and Mohawk economy like shoulder pads on. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I think that's funny.
I know, and she's like, she has that's like the new, is that like her new outfit?
I'm not
Yeah, you
sure.
can see Yeah, you can see right here, that's the cover. That's the cover where Barbara got shot, right there.
Yeah.
And that was from the Killing Joke.
Yep.
And and that was pretty much what I remembered about that comic.
I like that he
Good
shows up in
reveal.
a Hawaiian
Oh.
suit. Of all things, a Hawaiian suit.
Here's another controversial one. Selena. He's worse than ever. More than
will it take?
Yeah. How many more will it take? I know, it's sad.
Hmm.
These are interesting.
I did not like Dark Knight Returns. Did not care for that book. But I really just flat out do not care for Frank Miller.
The secret versions, okay. Banned, okay. The team should be banned for referencing Killing Joke. What? So that's why people were trying to. That's sad.
I just know there are people on there that are just like, you're.
Yeah, and I
What's
can
the
see
next
why
beard
people are really
like
upset
this?
with that.
Well, kind of going back to the issue of what you see in the comic versus like editor's notes discovered / published years after the fact is, should we really hold a comic book accountable for I don't know, all this sort of behind the scenes stuff? Like, when you watch a movie, should you judge the movie by the DVD extras with all the commentary in the back, or should you just judge it by the finished product? I mean, the finished product, a lot of people have said it was pretty ambiguous on purpose, and if it is truly an ambiguous sort of situation outcome, should we really be obsessing over it based on a note that was left behind about what it was supposed to be but was edited down and turned into something else?
I don't know. Because right now they're trying to change the comic book authority thing.
I saw Indiana Jones and I wanted to become an archaeologist.
The comic code of authority. Which I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, what's the end game with this? Like, what's going to be accomplished by censoring all this stuff, really?
I really doubt there's an end game. Like,
I think
at the moment they're not thinking of an end game. They just don't want it. And the more they don't want it,
they just want to erase history.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they're doing, and that's something that should never happen. Because if you're going to erase history, it's not going to remind us of how bad we used to be. How we made these tough choices, these tough decisions in order for a next generation to survive in a world that's probably dark, and they may never know.
I want all stories to touch anything they want to touch. That's all that matters.
I know.
Yeah.
Even if they touch me.
And it's sad that it's happening to books. It's happening to a lot of things. Because they want to ban, especially high school, they want to ban the Stephen King books. Certain groups want to.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
On what basis?
They're bad. They're bad influence to kids.
Wait, what?
You have to have more of an explanation of that. You have to have something
to my
Apparently you don't.
Like, for example, what was that one book that I remember? The one about it's about a high school kid.
Catch-22.
Yeah.
The Metamorphosis by Frank Kafka.
No, there's another one that Stephen King did.
House on the Rising Sun.
No.
I'm just naming things until you realize what it is.
Let's see. Silver Bullet was another one.
The Mist?
No, Silver Bullet. Silver
Pet
Bullet.
Cemetery?
Silver Bullet.
Sorry. What is Silver Bullet? I've never heard of Silver Bullet. Is it about werewolves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was.
Can you give it like a plot summary of what it is and why it's horrible?
It's about I think it was about a kid trying to fight some type of werewolf. And the only thing that could kill it was a
Question. if Silver Bullet, I've never heard of it. I don't know the themes. I don't know what the ideas or anything. But if Silver
I
Bullet
don't know
is
if it was the book though. I couldn't remember. I'm barely
understood, but say that is banned, is Twilight banned?
like Twilight.
Please, like is it banned for
Twilight
kids?
would've
Please.
Nah, they wouldn't ban Twilight because it promotes whatchamacallit.
Abstinence.
Yes.
It doesn't really. I mean, she ends up pregnant in the end, anyways.
And it almost killed her.
Yeah, and she dies.
Yeah. Just
And then
like
comes back.
yeah, just like real life.
Have any of you guys seen the movie or read the book Interview with a Vampire?
I have a friend who's avidly talks about it. That's all I got.
Okay.
Well, a
Because
stat. That's all I know.
I think if we could somehow reprint that DVD and just pass it out to everyone who's an avid Twilight fan, we could convert them very quickly, I think.
It's so weird how vampires change over the years.
Well, that was really my favorite iteration, just because it was riding that line of sort of the charmer, but they're still absolute horrible monsters.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go to an aristocratic dinner party because you want to see how many young ladies you can trick to go off to the side with you and snap their necks, and then compare, body counts by the end of the night, and then gleefully run off and nobody ever catches you. That's, I liked that kind of vampire, that kind of actual monster, predatory creature that's hiding behind a pretty face so it could do horrible, horrible things. Not the non-committal kind of an abusive boyfriend vampire. I guess I won't bite your neck, but I'll stalk you.
I was watching you sleep. I feel so
Yeah.
protective of you.
See, he's
Turn into Batman again.
That is exactly
Damn it!
Like, commit to the hunt, man. If you want to suck her blood, do it. Don't do this half-ass thing of like, well, watch her sleep.
That's creepy.
No, it's romantic. You have to watch the movie.
Like that character, even Anita Sarkeesian mentioned that this guy was a creepy dude. The character, Edward.
Christ.
Only thing I could truly, thoroughly agree with her on. That was it.
Question though.
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. If Jacob were to turn into a werewolf, since in that version werewolves are basically just giant wolves, and she were to have sex with him, is that bestiality?
Bestiality.
Bestiality.
You're trying to use the word bestiary?
Bestiality.
Are you... He's trying to use the word bestiary instead of beast. Oh, no. Bestiary is a book. It's usually something in Dungeons and Dragons at this point. It's different. You're looking for
bestiality.
so tired.
Okay, fine. That's a word now.
Thank you.
A new word.
We'll call Webster. We'll get it added.
What you talking about, Willis?
Bestiality. I could say that they really wanted to market this idea of a werewolf that's totally sexy and looks like a stripper.
Thank you.
That's pretty much
that's all I ever wanted.
And I think that shows progress right there. Progress, as they call it.
SJWs love it.
Yes, SJWs love
because werewolf
the
Americans.
fact that it's a man who's trying to express his chest muscles and everything. That's pretty much what they want.
What's amazing is that after they come out of like werewolf stance, they get their pants back. That's amazing. That's a superpower on its own.
Yes,
See,
and that's
again,
why.
they neutered the werewolf.
For real, where's the floppy dick?
Well, because the idea is that you transform in the moonlight and then you totally act against your own will, and in an animalistic rage, you shred apart the nearest human being, and you wake up covered in your loved one's blood, and you scream, and you're like, no, what did I do? And the only way to relieve this situation is either kill the werewolf who started it all, or do yourself in. And no, we just turn into wolves and hang out.
That's
Funny.
Yeah, I like that. They just turn to wolves and hang out.
Yeah. I wonder how they do it in comic books. That's the question.
I liked the way they did it in the werewolf thing in Once Upon a Time, where it was like,
Well-
where it like really you could lose yourself to the wolf, basically. Not just, but like you can control it, but it's mostly if you don't know how to control it, it's not.
Well, that's kind of interesting. Like, let's see if I remember a comic book series based on a werewolf.
While you do so, I wanna drop a book series, The Dresden Files. Fucking love the way
Yes.
I read that book series.
Fucking love it. Oh my god.
I love it too.
Only one complaint.
Okay.
Did we really, 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 really need to know everything about the Madam Vampire when she transformed?
I'm not going to say.
I don't remember.
Because
Did we really need to
do
know
remember
about the
what she looked
pendulums?
like.
Did we really need to know about the pendulums?
She looks like a fool.
The sagging, aging pendulums. Did we really need to know about those?
I don't remember that. I have to reread. Damn it.
I had to watch that one. I had to read the one about the freaking succubus who is a porn star. That one was funny.
Blood Ritual, I think, right?
I think that was the one. I think, yeah. And the other one, my favorite one was the Summer Night. I think that was the one.
That's a good one. I like Dead
where
Rights.
where they had that big war.
Is it Dead Rights? Dead Nights or Dead something?
Mm-hmm.
Dead Beat. Dead Beat.
That'd be, yeah. Now, right now, I'm trying to catch up to it, even though I'm way behind on Dresden books. I only got up to let's see, probably the 9th book, 9th or 10th book on the series, and I'm trying to catch up. I'm very behind.
I'm like super happy I met you guys then, because that was like the fucking best book series I've ever read. And then I'm on the last one. I haven't actually read that one yet. I've read like the first 5 pages. That's it.
Okay, if you want dicks, watch The Watchmen. Someone just sent a message.
No. No. No.
To impress a chick, do a helicopter dick.
Yes, what would happen if the Watchmen watch you?
From a closet, preferably wearing a
Oh
Superman.
yeah, you're
The
right.
question was that motion capture, or did they just kind of guess?
I have
I think
never
they
watched
try
The
to
Watchmen,
assume it.
like the movie. I've never watched it.
Just be prepared. It's a great movie, but there's something you need to be prepared about due to our Puritan American culture that I don't know if you're ready for it.
Blue floppy dick?
Yeah, I don't know. Just
I don't mind. I know it's of various sizes because he also grows.
I will give the movie credit in that I felt like they never put him in a frame to emphasize things. Like, he happens to be naked, but they never put him into the scene in a way where any attention is brought to it. It's just if you're not used to seeing that stuff on screen, it may distract you from the rest of everything going on.
It's just a floppy dick. I mean, it's like humans. Humans have floppy dicks. At least half of them do.
Yeah, it's not like they're gonna extend when they're turned on or something.
No, that never happens.
That never happens in the comics. But,
And I'm going to a doctor to find out why.
but it only happens in comics. That's pretty much what we all know. Like if you ever read, let's see, something. Let me see if I remember. Heavy Metal.
I remember heavy metal.
Yes,
I am
not the
too
movie,
young.
the comics.
I am far too young for that. I feel like
They always had interesting stories in heavy metal, but they always have someone dying, and sometimes they either in. But heavy metal is like the most, I used to remember as a kid reading them in the library, and I wasn't supposed to read them, but they were available in the library, and I read those things. I was like, this is pretty interesting. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, heavy metal used to be like the adult kids. Your parents hate that thing because it's offensive comic, but it's still being sold to this day. Surprisingly, because it was like the most offensive comic ever lived, but everyone loved reading that comic.
So it was sort of it's South Park at the time.
Yeah, it was like the South Park of a generation of adult readers.
Where like originally a bunch of parents are sort of outraged by its existence, they try to shut it down, and then it just kind of keeps going to the point that people stop complaining about it.
Yeah, because right now it's like it can only be sold. It's still being sold, even though it's under the black plastic cover because they had to cover it up because people. It's like the Playboy comic book. It had sexual content, it had violence, it had almost everything. The art was very raw, but it was actually beautiful too, because it had sci-fi, it had almost everything of a story that you wanted to read.
Mm-hmm. That just triggered a memory in my head. I've been triggered.
I'm sorry if I brought it back.
No. What it is back in the 90s, there was a pop group called Spice Girls.
Oh
And
God.
and they were promoting like a sort of pseudo-feminism kind of a sideline thing, girl power, you can do anything if you believe in yourself.
Tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
I'll tell you what I want.
What you really, really want.
Really want.
You want? Huh?
And and what happened was I remember as a kid, like, this rumor started going around that one of the Spice Girls, the one that was like really pushing the whole girl power message, Ginger Spice, was going to be in Playboy. And I was like, no, she's not, said 9-year-old me. And somebody actually like managed to get a hold of this Playboy, and like we're all grade school kids, but somebody got a hold of it and showed it to me, and like me and a small group of other girls, we just sat there with like our hearts totally crushed as we like flipped through it page by page, and just like we were in denial. So like we kept wanting to turn the page to see like it's probably like a model that looks like Ginger Spice. Just page after page, it's like, no, that's her, because like that's the tattoo she has on her body or something like that. Like, oh, that's her.
I don't remember that happening at all.
No, she was in a Playboy, and it was soul crushing.
Well, I don't remember even hearing about that. I thought I probably would have heard about that.
I used to buy Playboy magazines and then drew the clothes on the women.
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah. Let me show you a cover of Heavy Metal.
I'm not a big fan of like traditional porn. That says a lot about me.
No, it's pretty much an interesting cover. You can see right here.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh shit! It's just the image. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just an image.
Okay, sorry. I was putting my moves on you.
Yeah, it's they always had some interesting cover art, and I always remembered some of the interesting cover art that they had, like the girls, some of the art that they did with the girls and everything.
It looks
They always
like
had
she's,
every time they have it on the cover.
It looks like she's
Every
running
cover, they always had a
around
woman on the
Mars
cover.
about to beat up a dinosaur.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, she beat up a dragon or something. Yeah, you're right. This other one. Here's another one. Let me see if I can get the other one here. Because they always had every cover of heavy metal. They always had a woman. And you can see by the armor and everything. It's kind of
She's well protected.
she's well protected.
No arrows will penetrate her immensely.
She has less armor. That was like one of the biggest controversies. Here's another one. Let's see. Let's see if this one had the fantasy cyberpunk thing going. Oh boy, might as well cover the stop there. And that's like one of the biggest things they always do, but they always had some interesting covers for heavy metal. The art is really, really cool.
I'm glad that the armor is very realistic.
Well, like the movie has some really cool animation techniques in it,
Yeah,
like the rotoscoping.
but
You know that armor is effective if you're like a sorceress standing several hundred feet away from everyone else while you're casting fireballs and stuff. It's
I
just
can
if
imagine
you're
like arrows
if you're-
flying at her and she like deflects them with her boob armor. That's my sound effect for it.
No, I heard somebody like giving that argument earlier on another stream, and I realized like, yeah, actually that kind of armor can work if you're if you're like the spellcaster and you are way back there. You know, if you're really not and never gonna see anything. But it's if you're the frontline tank, no.
yeah, unless you're one of those dodgy women, like unless you
Dodgy.
unless you want to wear less armor, that's fine. Because if you're one of those people that can avoid dodge weaponry, or if you're like one of those
Oh.
little good martial arts warriors that can actually dodge and attack people, you're
Oh,
good.
I thought you meant dodgy, like something else. Like
Yeah, like
she looks kind of dodgy.
like you can dodge like a sword swipe or anything like that.
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, compared to like old school armor, that shit you're gonna get hit. If you walk
Yeah.
around, you're gonna get fucking hit because that shit's heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can agree with you there. At least you can move around.
Yeah, like I'm going to show you guys another example of a woman who is not in armor but less armor. Let's see what we can show here. Like she has somewhat armor, but she's not covered in that area right there.
That is actually the best boob plate I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Because like it's
Yeah.
not actually I don't know what to call it. It's not actually like curving in right where the sternum would be. So like if she gets hit in the
Yeah,
chest,
you can
she's
tell
not gonna
by the
get
leg
split in
here.
half.
There's like one's bigger than the other.
Well, there's actually like, well, there was a thing that that some people were making fun of, like these characters that had like, I'm sorry, I'm really tired. One giant shoulder pad and none on the other, and actually that was useful for combat in some way. And I
Mm-hmm.
can't tired, but I'm assuming that might be the reason behind that.
Yeah, there's another one here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Leather armor.
Where did the straps go?
I do not know.
See, those
It's
two
magic.
flaps
Magic
should be
sorceress.
falling off.
Yeah, I know.
You know, just
I have my
a
face
little
with my
piece of
mic.
string or something.
I don't know. Those straps look kind of weird, though.
Quick, leather armor lady, run over there really fast.
Yeah, because the argument about loincloth and everything, leather straps.
So we see the women, but where's the guys? Do they have like dick plates?
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's kind of weird. There's like another one. Let me
if you
see if
look
that
up
one
like
looks.
John Carter of Mars, you'll see
Yeah,
stuff.
and you can see right here. At
Looking
least
it up
there's
now.
diversity here. You can see right here this woman right here. She's got muscles right here. She's like really
I would say
muscular.
muscles.
Muscles. I like that.
Muscles.
I like
Yeah,
muscles.
I like
Got-
those muscles.
Muscles.
Yeah, you can see right here she has muscles. But you can tell by the sword, she's holding right there is like, what is she?
What is she doing with her thumb?
Yeah, that's what I wonder too.
Like, okay, so I don't.
Yeah,
Thumbs
it
are hard
looks
to
like
draw, okay?
you can tell that this is done in computer.
Hmm.
Yeah, because you can see right here that looks like they did a bad job right there.
Oh my god. John Carter of Mars.
John Carter Mars.
I felt
Oh,
so
God.
bad for that movie.
I liked that movie.
If this movie was more like this, I would love it.
I liked a lot of that movie, and I liked that dog, and I wish there was a plushie of that dog because I would love it forever.
I
That
think
Another
a big
one.
part of that
ugly
movie.
dog.
I think a big part of that movie failing was that they did it really for advertising, and like also that it kind of has two beginnings from confused critics, which did not help that.
They also
Right,
spent way
guys.
too much time with the fake British people, which really bugged me.
I hate when they fake accents.
Well, I guess like when I say fake British people, what I guess I mean by that is that when you have a group of people who all have a quote unquote foreign accent,
And
and
it's
you
all
can
British.
yeah, it's usually like all British,
Yeah.
and there's no reason why it's a British accent. It's just they want to try to imply that they're somehow snooty and foreign, but I don't know. It just for some reason those scenes were so dry. I don't know what it was. It was just so dry. And then every time they got back to the monsters and stuff, my interest perked again. But that dog,
see.
that was a beautiful, beautiful creature.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and talk about something else because someone brought up a really interesting thing about. But we're gonna talk about Batgirl's costume and how they.
Okay, let's judge costumes again. I like being
All
a
right.
costume judge.
Yeah, let's judge costumes. Let's go ahead and see what Batgirl's costume is.
I feel like
Like-
I'm on some kind of a cosplay panel.
Yeah, I know we're like judging everything. Like, let's see. I like.
I would be
this
the worst
one,
at a cosplay panel.
Actually, I think this is the.
The worst.
I like this one. Let me see if I can get it on the screen here. I think someone drew this, but let's see.
Technically, if it's Batgirl, it's mainly going to be someone who drew it.
Yeah, because this is a DeviantArt thing. You can see right here.
Honestly, like a fangirlish. I think she's very unhealthy in this picture. Too much abs.
Yeah, but you can tell it's kind of like they're trying to make it armorish in a way.
Yeah, that's not. Unfortunately, I think you would have to be like starving.
Yeah,
yourself
it's just
to
a Deviant
maintain
fan art.
That kind of muscle definition.
Yeah. Like, let's see here. That's a 3D version of her. It looks nice though.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
I'll just note I'm gonna make a snap judgment that's probably entirely wrong, but the piece you just showed us right before, I'm guessing the artist of that piece mostly drew men, by a lot of the little anatomy decisions, whereas this piece looks like somebody who's a little bit more familiar with the female form.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Mhm.
Very Michelangelo-esque.
Sometimes I,
I
even
mean-
have a problem like making a lot of the character like Batman way too muscular. It's like you look like a fucking tank.
Let me see if I can find something that, like, you have this. Let's see the old Yavanna Craig.
Oh, that's obviously the best Batgirl outfit.
It always.
Yeah, you can see right here.
Look at that, like
Offers no protection whatsoever, but she has the
Have you seen Adam West? His only protection is his personality. He's the best.
yeah. He's like, and his brain too. He always tries to guess everything from the Riddler's questions. Let me see what else. Let's see if I can go back here. So see if we can find anything would be entertaining enough. That's a cosplay, I'm assuming. Yeah, those are just cosplay costumes, Halloween costume. Ooh, I like this one. This must be Batgirl.
I think that's from the third movie, or that's
Yeah,
supposed
but-
to be
Oh,
modeled
that-
after the
that-
third
Oh,
movie.
the best
it
movie.
does
Yes,
look like
it's
it,
from the
but
best
you
movie
can see
ever
right
made.
here. It's kind of. She has the boots.
That is definitely from Batman and Robin.
That's the best movie. Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, screw the Dark Knight. It's Batman and Robin.
I know.
The nipple.
That's where everything. Freeze.
Let me see. There's
The
a
Ice
fan art
Age.
version. That looks like freaking Batgirl RoboCop right here.
Yeah.
I kind of like that one.
That looks
Yeah.
like something. It looks like if they did, if there was a Batgirl and Batman Beyond.
Yeah, it does look kind of cool though. If they would have made it, if they would have made the symbol a little bit more cooler.
Batty?
Yeah, more
Yeah.
batty because it doesn't look like it would fit in.
Really like Batman
But
Beyond.
it looks more
She-
RoboCop-ish, more Batman Beyond-ish in a way because she's like full armor.
She stole Chewbacca's belt, though.
Yeah. Like,
She walked
Oh,
right up to
man.
him and just took it.
if they would have made that, it would have been interesting. Let me see. What else do they have?
Whoa, what?
I gotta see this one. This is a DeviantArt.
I kind of like that, but not like.
Yeah, it
I
kind
don't
of
think it'd be like an
makes
official one,
her
but I like
it
it.
kind of makes her almost like a kind of a witch in a way.
Looks
I just really
old
like
Wicked Witch
exaggerated
with
proportions.
Yeah,
Witch
it's
Hunter.
like her chest symbol's like a little bit tight on her. They're trying to make her look tight.
You look tight, yo. You tight, yo.
Yeah, like they're trying to make her like her pants are so
In that
tight
case-
and
In that case,
And
I
that
feel
leather.
really
Go
bad
ahead.
for making this observation, but her emblem would have looked better if she was given a uniboob.
I approve of you. I approve of you to boob.
It's or
Okay.
sometimes it's called like a boob loaf, meaning when like you sort of I don't know, when you don't distinguish them as separate objects, but like as sort of a general shape.
I approve of boob loaf.
Wolf is a great word.
this looks
Generally,
okay.
any word with boob in front of it's pretty good.
I kind of like this one, but it's kind of like Rocketman-ish in a way. Rocket Man,
You
Except it's
Rocketeer?
like leather jacket and everything.
I like that she's no longer stealing Chewbacca's gear. It's definitely hers and
Yeah.
hers alone.
It's
I also like the zippers
That's
on
pretty
that.
interesting.
I like that one. That one you're on right now.
Oh, this one that I'm clicking on?
The very goofy Batgirl for some reason. Not that one.
Oh, the
That one, yeah, I like that one.
Oh, that's
But again,
yeah. It's like,
because I like very exaggerated proportions, so I'm pretty happy with that.
I know she's not very. She's like nah 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 nah. Nah, you can't.
There's nothing really for it. It's just like a weird exaggerated personality, like a caricature, and I like it.
Oh man, I'm just looking at the. Sorry guys, hold on.
That's cool.
I'm gonna go back to the images of Batgirl. I hope DC won't sue me for this. showing images of Batgirl and Power Girl and such. That's Batwoman.
You know what I would be for?
That's mm-hmm.
Batman X Batgirl. Yeah. Wait, no, wait.
That one.
Batgirl. Wait, hold on. I gotta not drunk for a second. Batwoman X Supergirl. Superwoman.
Wonder Woman.
I don't know.
Because they always try to,
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Superman's niece plus Barbara Gordon. I'd be okay with that. That's all I'm saying. There you go. That's it. That's exactly what I mean.
because you can see right here.
Yeah.
Origins, Injustice. I can't get a quality on that one. There we go.
Why the corset on the outside, though?
I don't know. It's the way they designed it in Injustice.
That was actually something I used to do when I was much younger and trying to draw like period costumes. Like I'd sometimes draw the corset on the outside, and somebody pointed out to me one day, "Why are you doing that?" Of course, it always goes under everything. It gives the shape, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. That's way too sexy.
That's body paint.
That's like
spray paint.
John Carter
That's
of Mars
body
Bar
paint.
Girl.
That's body paint. That's not a
Yeah, I'm just
costume.
joking about that one. And this
Heavy
one,
metal Batgirl.
no. No.
But I think these images do reflect something very important, which is that all of the models shown here are wearing a costume voluntarily, and a lot of them probably either designed or picked out the costume,
Yeah.
and they're happy about it. And is it right for a third party to step in and tell you, no, 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 you can't wear that, it's oppressions?
Yeah, I think this is Young Justice version of Batgirl.
Fucking Tumblr thinks that show got canceled because girls like to watch it. Because that's how ratings and the industry works. But more people watching means we need to shut this down.
I like that she was wearing knee pads on there.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, though. Why,
Yeah.
Tumblr's getting upset with me? Showing the images of Batgirl?
No, I'm talking about Tumblr repeating over and over again that Young Justice got canceled because girls like to watch it. Because having more viewers means that the show...
it wasn't really a bad series. It's just got boring.
No, it's just the
They
fact
went
that
with the whole teen drama thing.
That's their argument, though, is not that it declined in views, which is the reason why it got canceled. No, because women like to watch it. And it's like, you have no understanding whatsoever of how the entertainment industry works at all. And like, it's coming from the same people that are like...
It didn't get that enough. It didn't get enough ratings. That was the issue that it had.
Yeah. And it's coming from the same people who probably were like, oh, go see Annie even if it's bad, because if you don't go see... If Annie doesn't make money, there won't be black people in movies anymore. I fucking read that post. That was a real fucking thing.
Understand that.
I didn't see Annie. I saw Top 5, and Top 5.
Really they need to pay. They need to pay what's his name, the creator Bruce Timm, the money to bring that show back.
Yeah.
I like that one.
What kind of an ancient primitive world does somebody have to exist in their mind to think that the civil rights movement didn't happen, to think that there isn't influence already in Hollywood and stuff? I mean, I get the whole idea of wanting to boost diversity, but the way the conversation goes, it usually sounds like people are unaware that any exists whatsoever.
Yes! Sorry. It's
Yes.
big problem about it with me. Like, oh, there aren't any trans characters. It's like, yes, there fucking are. You just have to look for them.
the comic books.
Like, well, there's no trans representation. Go watch Tokyo Godfathers.
Well, also this is a tad of a rant, but, you know, is it really, like, I notice a lot of the time it's not only we want diversity, but it's we want diversity and then we want to absolutely smush it and smash it into your face. Like, I
Yeah.
think the best way to introduce diversity is just to throw it in there, like, not make a huge deal about it. I mentioned before, you know, when you're literally replacing characters or totally rehauling them, then you need to come up with an explanation because they're a pre-existing character that you're rebooting, that you're redoing. So you need to explain it. But if you're adding somebody in, you don't need to, like, stop the universe and say, wait a minute, guys, there's a girl.
Yeah.
Quick, tell us about yourself. Or better, like you just mentioned, you know, with like a trans character, isn't that kind of almost going against everything about how trans people would like to be treated in society? You know, okay,
Yes!
stop the universe. Quick, it's a trans person. Tell us why you don't think you're a girl or a boy.
Oh god, they're the people that are like, oh, only trans characters should be played by trans actors. Like, so many things wrong with that sentence.
Yeah, it's
It's
like,
like-
so
It's
you
like,
would
for
have to ask the actors.
No, it's cause like,
Doctor.
it's like, oh, we have
Mrs.
to,
Doubtfire.
let's make
played
sure,
by a comedian.
let's make
that
sure that
everyone
we
remembers.
Yeah. It's like, let's make sure that we hire a trans actor because there are a lot of them, right? And let's make sure that, but and they also magically have to be good, too. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah, according to this, Wee said, hate to say it, but Hollywood is run by a minority in the first place, meaning they were diverse by default. I'm not going to say the other part, Jews.
I do want to mention that I don't know if you guys watch Modern Families.
Yeah.
Amazing fucking show. The fat gay guy,
Uh-huh.
he's not gay. He's a straight guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's a fucking amazing actor, though. He's so fucking amazing.
Well, gay people play as straight people all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like-
part of acting is getting into the role of a different kind of person than who you are.
Exactly.
You'd be surprised about the actor who played it in the Brady Bunch.
And people that are like, that talk about that is just totally don't get the point.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Is that you don't need an exact actor that is that to do that. Is that simple? And you're right. The Brady Bunch was amazing. Alice was actually a guy.
Wait,
What?
what?
Yeah, but the funny thing about it is that the father was actually a homosexual.
Yeah. Like, I think he got diagnosed with AIDS.
Oh, I thought it was Alice. I'm sorry.
No.
No.
I forgot the actor's name, but he wanted to. He was an openly nice man, and according to one of the cast members, they mentioned that he was, and he was always he was always treated. He always treated the kids with respect and everything, and he always tried to show that they were. He was always respectful and good to people.
Yeah.
And that's what they liked about him.
Yeah.
That's a funky costume.
I know, it looks like it's more like a steampunk costume in a way.
Just about to say that. Yeah.
I like the Batarangs attached to the bracers though, for easy
and these
access.
are these are like the Anime Kong ones with the steampunk. Yeah, it is steampunk Batgirl.
There it's
Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking around, just looking at the images on what we're seeing here. Like, there's a lot interesting. Like, let's see. That's Catwoman statue. It's
Halle Berry the
cute,
best.
but kind of And this is Catwoman. And she has cat feet that has claws in it. That's weird though. Let's see, what else? Let me look at the Catwoman stuff. Let's see.
Now, I think Catwoman and Batgirl are two good examples of female characters that have distinctly different sexualities, and that means that sort of their range of costuming should and can be different based on that context.
And you can see it's
I mean,
she's
I think
more of a Girl Scout. Batgirl's more of a Girl Scout, and Catwoman's more of a dominatrix.
well, also, Catwoman is an older character, and she's
Yeah.
very self-confident, and she's sort of more, I don't know, like with the dominatrix sort of notion, sort of she's very in control of her sexuality,
Hmm.
where, Batgirl, as the name implies, is a Batgirl. And so when people whine and talk about costumes a lot, I think it's very important to take the character's personality and other factors into account that, yeah, maybe you do get upset if an underage character is scantily clad, but I think yelling about Catwoman being scantily clad is just kind of ridiculous.
It's more like, let's see if we can find Superwoman. Supergirl. Let's see. That's another example. But this one has a very skinny stomach here. It's like they try to always.
Man, I'm so tired. I tried to scroll down for you.
Yeah.
I'll admit I kind of like the mid-drift with Supergirl because it just overemphasizes how ridiculously fit she can be if you draw a lot of sort of abs and six packs on there.
Supergirl, the TV series.
Mm.
Huh. So they are going to plan on making that. And that's the animated one.
I like the style that's done. I never watched the show.
You can tell by Bruce Timm is inspired by Japanese animation in a way. That's how he does most of his work. He gets an animator from Japan to help him out to do some of the movies. Let's see.
I watched Justice League growing up, but I've not watched Young Justice at all.
Well, you'd be surprised that some people would tell you about the animator who did who helped Bruce Timm out one time. I forgot the guy's name though. Yeah, that's a little too risque.
Check my link real fast.
You can see right here.
That is no clothes.
That bottom piece needs to be much bigger.
Yeah.
I don't
Let's try
know
this
in
one.
what way. That bottom piece needed to be more of a clothing object.
That was that one you clicked on after the release came out.
I mean,
nice.
let's see. Jessica Biel's Supergirl. It's okay. Let's see. Nah.
I do like kind of more the V shapes of pleated skirt. It reminds me a lot of Sailor Moon.
Wait, that happened?
Powers of moonlight.
Sorry, I was looking at the links microput. Um, that happened?
Yeah, she went Red Ring for a while.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because he was pissed.
Super pissed.
Let's see. That's a nice one.
Like, DC has been quite ruined for me, and it's like this is the second time around it's been ruined.
I like this one.
Originally,
That's
I was
nice.
getting into it, really into it, and then the reboot happened, and I was just like, well, fuck it. Especially after what they did to Starfire, I was just kind of like,
Oh yeah, this is
I
a
have
Japanese one.
zero interest in this now. But, like to the point where it's really hard for me to even go back and read
Yeah.
52, which I
I
have
have to
started
admit,
collecting, and I wanted to read Brightest Day, Darkest Night, but
That's just an awkward, I don't know what to call it, color blocking.
I wear it.
I don't know. It's kind of weird though, because usually they put the area right here all red.
yeah, that's
This joke immediately comes to mind that's horrible, and I'm not saying it. I'm not.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything
Can you not
about
say it,
that.
please?
Yeah,
I
you know what
I
it
don't want
is.
it. I know what it is.
I
Yeah,
want to
you
hear
know.
it. I don't know. I'm innocent.
Michael, let your mind just sort of think on that for a while. Just sort of meditate. It'll come to you eventually.
You're giving me
Yeah.
way too much credit.
You can see this one.
that kind of reminds me of this thing I just saw on Facebook, where it's like this. There's a quest marker from. I'm debating on even saying this now. Never mind. I'm tired.
I understand. He can go, man, if you want to.
Like,
And get some sleep.
So I think I'm probably. So, it's like.
Yeah,
Oh
thanks
my
for
God.
coming, man.
I'm getting to the point where I'm just like not talk good.
I understand.
This is the crossover I've been hoping for. I just linked it.
Yeah. All right, let me go ahead and see it. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Google Hangouts here.
That's the crossover I've been waiting for.
Spider-Man, Superman.
Awkward costume X awkward costume.
Yeah. Hey, baby.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, because looking at the art is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the idea of sort of the two-piece outfit and then like the top piece being maybe a long sleeve, almost shirt type setup.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is with that particular art. The line work just bothers me. I don't know why.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and try the next thing, Spider-Woman. We're gonna go ahead and do that one. Yeah, Spider-Woman.
I'm probably gonna go before I pass out on.
I know. I'm sorry for
No, please pass out.
boring, man.
No, I'm just tired and my brain's kind of frazzled.
Because we're like looking at pictures of hot action comic book characters, like the controversial one.
Yeah, that is.
And it's like, That was the most controversial one that they were pissed that the SJWs were so upset about.
Look at some Spider-Man poses.
I wouldn't be upset about that from an SJW standpoint. I'd be more upset about that from an artistic standpoint because that doesn't look right.
The hair and the face just look weird.
Question: does this look right?
Yes.
More than the other one. Like, fortunately,
It's not a cover. It's just a. It's
Well, I
just
mean-
a panel.
I'm just talking about like proportion-wise and like the perspective and all that. Looks better than
Yeah.
than that than the one that everybody got pissed about.
In this panel right here.
New Avengers, I think.
Yeah. No, it's not really. Let's see here.
I remember because I started about that age. The New Avengers. I remember one of my favorite parts was Spider-Man meeting the new character Ronin. I think her name was Ronin. It was something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe she was blind, but she has a ability to copy people. So if she hears something, she can instantly copy it. Stuff like that. I don't exactly remember the entire thing, but I remember that he tried to talk to her, but she wouldn't pick it up. But if someone else would like their mouth could move, and she could pick it up, and so he thought that she hated him. Because he didn't figure out that she was blind, so because his mask, he doesn't have his jaw, so she couldn't read his lips. So the entire time.
I don't know what their obsession is with the ass and
Wait,
everything.
you mean like she's deaf? Or
Oh yeah, she's deaf. There you go. It was the opposite. Not that she's blind. She's deaf. I'm drunk, but she's deaf. She can only read by seeing lips. There you go. Yeah, it's the opposite round. I'm way off.
Yeah.
But he thought that
Man, they always
she
have this
hated her
obsession
because
with.
of his mask,
And
and it was fucking hilarious.
that I don't like.
I was way off there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let's like wait a second.
Yeah, that's like the. Is that? Oh yeah, from the cartoon series, Iron Man.
Well, actually, I'm gonna.
I know we're just like talking about this, like.
I'm like kind of wanting to stay, but at the same time, if I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna need to go get a drink.
You
Either way, I'm
can
gonna
go.
away
No
for
problem, brother.
And
Good
people-
night, right?
And I wish I could get people on, but it's like we only have like about like how many people?
watching. I clicked out of this stream tab.
Like let's see, like few people. I know it's
Four
getting
viewers.
boring, and we're not talking about. It's like
We're
we're
just
watching
talking
like
about-
images of criticizing the issue.
Talking about covers, either. I mean, not covers, but the comics anyway.
Yeah, because it's like it's pretty interesting that we see a lot of the stuff that they're changing and a lot of stuff that they're trying to evolve and try to change the story or change the origins. For example, like to my understanding, are they really going to change the origins of the characters?
Well, I hope they don't rewrite everything and change everyone. I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, there are some characters where if you really wanted to redesign them, there's no reason why they should be one gender or another gender or one race or another race or whatever. And so changing it doesn't really affect anything. But I notice time and time again, changes are being made in circumstances where these types of details are somehow a part of the character or intricate to their backstory. And I just feel like it shows that the people who are pushing for these changes are not really tuned into what it is they're criticizing.
Concurred. Okay, a controversial female comic book character that's going to come out pretty soon on Netflix is going to be Jessica Drew. Wait, no. Jessica Jones. Sorry, there's two Jessicas.
Jessica Jones.
Yeah, Jewel, aka the chick that was manipulated by Purple Man.
Ah.
I don't know if you guys know that story. Should I elaborate?
Please elaborate.
Okay, Jessica Jones was someone who kind of admired Spider-Man. She grew into her own superpowers, basically like, which I believe is flight superpower, basically like Miss Marvel in a way. I don't think the ability to get energy, but she she can fly, she can do awesome stuff, right? And so she thought, I'm a superhero now. This is gonna be amazing. So she dressed up as a superhero, called herself Jewel, and attempted to, fight crime. But this comic book was, of course, a bit more nitty gritty than most other comic books. And one of the first supervillains that she came across was the Purple Man. And the Purple Man's ability is basically to mind control people. And so when she came up against him, he basically altered her. So she had to listen to everything he wanted. And she basically became his lackey. And pretty fucking grueling, really, that he had this thing where he would manipulate women and have sex in front of them, in front of Jessica Jones, basically tempting her the entire time. Her, of course, being visual, like she knew what was happening, but she couldn't do anything about it. And him doing it in front of her the entire time. That's all he would do.
Weird.
And yeah, and the only time, the main time that she broke away from him was when he told her to go kill someone. I forgot who it was exactly. I think it was Hawkeye, and she mistook the Scarlet Witch as Hawkeye, and I don't think it's Hawkeye. I might be making that up, but she mistook Scarlet Witch as the person that she was supposed to go kill, and attacked her. And of course, it was the Avengers. So the Avengers stopped her from doing things, and then she snapped out of it, and she had to kind of be deprogrammed from the Purple Man. And it's like one of her biggest stories. And she's right now married to Luke Cage. She's a pretty big player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to come to Netflix pretty soon, actually. I don't know if they're going to keep the same context, but it's very, very fucking dark. Like, the entire story is dark. She's like a reporter, I believe.
Yeah.
And now it was a completely dark story. The entire thing is like, it fucked her over. But she became very strong because of it. Very, very strong.
She had a kid with Luke Cage, and she had to pay money.
Yeah, and she has a baby now, and she's like one of the big like background characters for it, because what is it? She came out in like the Civil War and stuff like that, basically telling Luke Cage no, he's not going to be a part of it. Of course, he joined the Secret Avengers, and she did too, but still.
Oh man.
Yeah. There's some dark stories out there. I mean, it's a good story. It's a fucking amazing story. The Purple Man's a fucking horrible person. In one of the animated series that came out recently, the Purple Man came out where he manipulated Tony Stark to become president. So the Purple Man is still around, but yeah.
Yeah, they would put him in prison.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Yeah, they would put him under lock and key or put him in another universe in prison. Just to keep him out. Just to keep him away from the public.
And I'm going to go ahead and link the Purple Man right now.
Alright. Boy, I haven't been reading many Marvel comics.
Just that one panel will tell you everything you know about the Purple Man. If you had the ability to take over someone's mind, and you're a pervert, like horrible pervert, and well, it'll kind of escalate.
Yeah. In the story, Superman is desperate.
And
Man,
then
there's a lot of things that
didn't the Green Arrow's sidekick become a drug addict?
Oh
That's-
yeah, he
you mean
did.
Arsenal or
Who was-
Speedy?
Who was smacking China Cat? As
I think that was Arsenal.
oh.
And then he's like the same one that got his arm cut off.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Hank Pym hit the
Ant-Man?
Wasp. Yeah, Ant-Man hit the Wasp. Domestic abuse.
Yeah, they were divorced.
Yeah. That will never ever live him down. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's why the movie is going to be focused on Scott Lang, because Hank Pym will forever be the wife beater.
Yeah, we're just like bullshitting on this stream.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just like pointing out stuff that's like, why not? That's offensive kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's offensive. Like they I'm surprised they didn't go after heavy metal of all places, which is never going to happen. Because that thing existed for a long time, and I'm surprised it still exists, and it's still selling, even though it's not like vastly popular.
Yeah.
Do you think it's partially because Joker is a big mainstream character and heavy metal
Yeah.
is popular, but like it has sort of its niche audience?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's
It has a
probably
small
why.
audience in a way, but it's very popular. It's sort of popular in Europe as well, to my understanding of it. But yes, it's true, but there's also another fact that in some comics, like, for example, if you probably read the Arkham Asylum comics, right?
Nope.
Some of them were very creepy. Some of them were like...
I have
It was an
not.
interesting story, even though I had to read the book, but I had to give it away to a friend because it was a gift to him, because I wanted to read it, but I was like, I better give it to my friend because I bought it for a friend of mine. And it was an interesting story about Arkham Asylum, the origins of and everything, and how they ran that place. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But there was some creepy ass stories on all the criminals and everything else that they brought up. That one kind of, I don't know, one inmate tried to I forgot what he did. Escaped and killed one of the guards with his freaking head.
What?
Yeah,
His
he busted.
head?
Yeah. Just to escape. And failed. And I forgot which villain it was, though. I can't remember.
Can I say a few things that I'm pretty psyched about in the upcoming Marvel verse in
Yeah.
the cinema? A lot of people are giving it slack because it's just Ant-Man, but I fucking love Ant-Man. You don't understand.
I watched the preview of it, but I
Yeah,
wish they would have put him in the Avengers.
yeah, the trailer isn't the best for him, but what I'm really psyched for is like the Big House. I don't know if you guys know that. It's basically a prison that they put all the super villains in, where they miniaturize them all the way down to where they're like super tiny, and they keep them around in like basically jail cells that are like basically knee high to everyone. They're
That
like,
sounds excellent.
yeah, it's like they're like fingertip high, and they're basically guarded by Ultrons. And so it's like they get miniaturized, they don't know they're miniaturized, and they're in there like, let's break out, brrr! And then someone puts their finger down, like a regular guard, like just pokes them, like, no, you're not going anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot the premiere of iZombie. on CW, and especially I don't know if they showed the episode of the Flash yet with the Trickster.
I don't think they have yet, but I don't follow that, so.
Yeah,
Does iZombie
but
look like
it
it's good?
features Mark Hamill,
Yeah,
he
I
used to
know,
be
who's
the original
awesome.
Trickster in the 90s.
Yeah, I know, he's great. I just haven't really been following that.
Yeah, because I'm expecting Mark Hamill to do his job because he's going to use his Joker voice, which everybody recognizes, but it was also used in the original Flash TV series
Yeah.
in the 90s.
I have to catch up with the Flash. That seems like a fun show.
It's a pretty good show. I'm pretty sure they have it on Netflix.
Yeah, I gotta catch up to it. I gotta sit down and watch it.
Yeah, because they got some pretty good stuff on it, but it's kind of sad too.
Yeah. I really like that superheroes are back. We needed something. We need some kind of like something to look up to kind of thing, and that's why like Heroes was such a big thing, and Powers apparently is coming, and now we have like the
I've
Flash
seen
and
the
all
first episode.
and all the new superheroes like the Marvel verse and stuff like that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It just these stories are so uplifting. They really make you feel like you want these things. You want this to happen in real life, and that's kind of what it is.
I kind of wish they brought Luke Cage out. They should.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
he's going to be on Netflix
if they
for
want to
sure.
market the diversity, they should bring out Luke Cage.
Yeah, it's going to be Daredevil coming out in April. Then I'm not sure who else is coming out, but Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones are all going to be Netflix shows.
Yeah, they need to make a show for Luke Cage or a movie. Because if they're gonna bring it like back to the 70s or something like that, it'd be funny.
What I really want, what I really really want, what I
Yes.
I wanna.
really really
I
really
wanna.
really, really zigzag is the GLA to come out as like the Civil War happens and suddenly the GLA is there. And if you don't know what the GLA is, it's basically the Great Lake Avengers, which is the defunct superheroes that want to be the Avengers and be cool. And
But
it's headed
instead
by
they fail.
yeah, they're horrible superheroes.
I know. But they do it. But they succeed by failing.
Pretty much, Mystery Mortal, whose power is to live forever. But that's it. He doesn't have like strength. He doesn't have flying. He dies and comes back. The end. He's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
So like I can imagine like a gunfight happening. He just runs out in the middle, gets shot. So the other guys can like sneak up behind the other.
Yeah, and then you have Squirrel Girl, which everyone always mocks, but she managed to pull off things.
And then Flat Man, which is like a gay Reed Richards,
Flat Man.
who is literally a gay Reed Richards.
And then you got Big Bertha. Oh man, that was funny.
And Doorman. And then you have Grasshopper, who apparently was introduced the same panel and died the same panel to the team. Because Doorman accepted him to the team, and someone shot Doorman in the head. And Doorman's power is that things pass through him. So it passed through him right to Grasshopper and killed him instantly.
I know. The funny thing about this is that Big Bertha, she can. It was so funny. One time she tried to be skinny, because that's her power. That's her ability. She tries to hide her weight. She flat out showed her weight off. But when she goes big, that's one thing that you gotta like about her. She's always trying to show off her bigness.
And this is a picture of Big
That's
Bertha
why
for those
everyone
of people who
hates-
don't
That's
know.
why everyone likes Big Bertha, because she just hides that fat, and then when she she sucks it in, and then she brings it out in her body. and that's technically like her freaking that's her muscles there.
She looks
Yeah,
like a lot of fun.
I know.
she's awesome. She is really
Yeah,
awesome.
but the funny thing, she throws up a lot.
How come?
It's because she gets like super strength, super like basically she becomes like the Hulk, except she has no stamina.
I know.
That's the problem. She runs for an extended period of time and then she gets super tired.
Yeah. And then you have Squirrel Girl, which she's like the most popular character out of that group.
Yeah.
And of course, the Great Lake Avengers, is especially when oh man, they really had a hard time with with Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
It was so funny. They had so much of a hard time. He always he's like, "Can I hang out with you guys?" No. Oh man, they were so funny. But did you see the new whatchamacallit? The new let's see if I can remember the new design for Squirrel Girl, which everyone was talking about.
No, I haven't.
Let's see if I can find it, because I know they had. See if I can find it, because I know that because she's like the most popular character, and everyone like, oh wow, that's interesting. They like the new redesign of her. Let me see if I know. The Great Lake. Because there's like they had to redesign her to make her look like she's pretty good. Because they did like several redesigns of Squirrel Girl, which I remember. Let me see if I can find it.
As you're looking, I read up on them. I haven't actually read a lot of the comics, but I read up on them. And when Mystery Mortal, which is the head of the GLA, put out like basically a Craigslist ad saying who wants to join the team, there was apparently an additional character that they got into their team called the Leatherman, which turned out to be some guy who was into S&M, thinking that it was a fetish group. And when they found out he had no power, they cut him out.
He had no power, but yet he had the power to freaking whoop everyone's ass.
He was just a S&M guy. There was nothing. They saw that they were dressed up fancy, so he came up as a guy in leather, and they're like, let's make a team. And he was a founding member until they realized, wait a second, you have no powers.
What do you do? Let's see.
Well,
Squirrel Girl redesign for Marvel Heroes.
her name is Squirrel Girl.
Yeah. Yeah,
has
and they
all
did
the
a
powers of a
redesign
squirrel.
of her, and it's like they did it for I think, just to make her look more cool.
It's Leather Boy. That's why.
Leather Boy. Like, let's see. I don't know. This is the fan. I think this is the fan art version. Or
There's expansion art of her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who?
I don't know if I need to ruin your childhood.
Can you please ruin my childhood? I like ruining childhoods.
There's this weird fetish where people like to draw what if scenarios where people are like they have a bicycle pump stuffed down their throat and they slowly just expand into a giant round shape.
Ballooning.
Yeah, I was looking for Squirrel Girl pictures and I somehow ran into a bunch of those stacked
Yeah,
What?
because
together.
they had like
Why did I do
several
that?
different variations of Squirrel Girl.
If you have a chance, go ahead and click on the link I just sent you. That's the founding member of GLA, Leatherboy.
The founding.
Actually, there is a man right now in Japan, a Japanese comedian who has turned himself into a superhero, and that is his exact outfit. And the funny
Oh, you
thing
mean
is,
hard
see,
gay? Hard
yes,
gay?
hard gay man.
Hard gay, man.
That's
I remember
awesome.
that guy.
And see, the funny thing is that the gay leather culture of like America never happened in Japan, so there is no cultural context as to what it is he's wearing. So like he's walking around on the street and he runs into like 5-year-old fanboys and they pose with him because he is hard gay man. People even cosplay as him to meet up with him.
I know. He's very popular. But of course, he got married. From what I heard,
What?
he got married
Who did?
later. Let's see if I can find. Because there's like several. Okay, that's the redesign I think they did. Squirrel.
It's interesting how they decided that the eye markings are definitely a key element.
Yeah, there's like several variations that they did of Squirrel Girl. And the ass to deal with. Because they try so hard with the artistic. Nice. With the hat.
Yeah, because she beat up Doctor Doom and Thanos.
That's
Yeah, no, that's actual Squirrel Girl
she's
canon.
a smart chick though.
Yeah, she actually did that.
Yeah.
Yes, luckily she always goes after the nuts.
Whoa!
But
That's actually one of my bad pickup lines. It's hey baby, if we were both girls, I'd bust a nut in your hole.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
You can use that. You can use it anytime, guys, including you, D Cup.
Yeah, because we're enjoying ourselves tonight with. Let's see, that's nice.
oh, you know I need more pickup lines like that all the time.
I can give one more, and that's all I have.
Okay.
That's nice. That's a nice Squirrel Girl outfit.
Hey girl, what are you, my appendix? Because I don't know what you do, and I don't know how you work, but I feel like I can you out. And that's all I got.
Gold material.
Thank
Gold
you.
grade material.
Gold.
I like the idea of the squirrel girl with the leg warmers. Sort of the loose.
The leg warmers.
Yeah, with the sort of the loose bunched up fabric around her legs. I don't know why. I just thought that. Oh my.
That's not entirely a costume.
I
don't think
just
that one
thought I
fabricated as a that's not exactly a costume.
That one right here, the lewd. All right, this is the image that you were talking about. Oh no.
Whoa.
That's exactly the image I was talking
sorry for showing that one. Oh my god!
On the internet? Why?
That's why I tend to not do that on streams.
Dr. Doom, more like Dr. Dick.
Do that with the Skeletor voice.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice one.
Oh God. What did I just do?
Yeah, I kind of like that one.
That one's nice. It's not scary.
Nah, it's not scary. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened. Yeah, because you gotta admit,
You did say she
you
goes
gotta
after the
admire her
nuts.
tenacity. Yeah, she goes after the nuts, but I didn't realize it'd go that far. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting really tired. I'm probably 3 minutes. I close this stream.
Okay.
Alright, no problem, man. I should probably sleep, but I'm too enthused to do that right now.
I know because we're like looking at images of Squirrel Girl, and I was like, uh-oh. I probably have to go and re-edit this whole thing and censor out the whole thing.
No one's gonna see it.
Well,
Because he's wearing a mask.
I mean, it depends on. I don't know how the rules of YouTube work in that situation because I never show that kind of material. But I mean, like on the streets of San Francisco, it's legal to walk around naked. You're just not allowed to be pointing at anyone with not your hands.
I don't understand. Can you describe that a little better?
Well, I guess if you're walking around and you're pointing at people, at that point a police officer has the right to walk up to you and give you a blanket and escort you away from the general public.
I was hoping for more.
There's currently some debates about that law. I don't know what's happened at the very, very moment, but like there's a group of people trying to outlaw nudity entirely, and it's not actually out of prudeness. It's more like just out of general sanitation concerns, like, hey, naked people ride the bus. I ride the bus. What happens
There's also
on a
another
hot
concern
day?
about thongs too.
Yeah.
In Florida, it's illegal to wear thongs, including Texas because of decency acts.
One of the most traumatizing things you can do is watch a volleyball game in a nudist colony.
Well, that's actually an irony I really find funny is when people are like, oh, I heard there's a nudist beach, and they go to the nudist beach, and then they come back looking really disappointed, and you ask them, what did you see? And they said, I just
My
saw
grandma.
well, they just saw naked people. They didn't see like supermodel naked people. They just saw naked people.
Yeah.
Old naked people, young naked people, fat naked people, emaciated naked people. That's actually the scariest thing I've ever seen was an emaciated naked person. Coincidentally, it wasn't a nude beach, but it was like a nudist kind of situation. And what it was is it was one of those people who's been a vegan for 30 years. And I didn't realize what that does to your body. I was just really scared, like, for the person's well-being, like, what? And yet you realize, like, you can't ask them, are you okay? Because that's obviously offensive immediately. Are you okay? I noticed your body is scary looking.
I was telling I think his name was Mark, that he was watching The Happening and he said it was the worst movie ever. But you have to realize that the enemies in that movie was the plants and that vegans were badasses all along.
Well, hopefully. No. What's your favorite crossovers in comic book?
I like Moon Knight teaming up with anyone.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
His special abilities to show people his butt.
Moon Knight is Marvel's Batman, like literally.
Yeah, his the schizophrenic Batman.
But I like his backstory way better. Moon Knight's backstory is that he was a highly successful drug dealer during the 70s, and while like going to Cairo to pull off some big thingy or other, he somehow fell into an Egyptian tomb where he was basically trapped, meaning like it was an undiscovered tomb, and the hole he fell through was so high up above him he couldn't escape. And like the god of some kind of ancient Egyptian god appeared to him and said, if you basically promise to devote the rest of your life to being Batman, I will let you out of my tomb. It's like, okay, fine. And so he's Batman, but he's not rich because he's a spoiled brat rich kid. He's rich because he used to be a drug dealer and he has a bunch of dirty money that he's now spending on fighting crime.
That, and he's also schizophrenic. Because he makes up random like random side stories. Like he isn't just Moon Knight and some rich guy. He's Moon Knight, some rich guy, and some homeless guy, and some other weird guy, and a mercenary, and they're all the same person coexisting together.
My favorite crossover is Aliens versus Superman.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that one was pretty interesting. In the end, Superman had an alien baby.
That is extra beautiful.
Yep. It was brutal.
Archie versus Punisher. No, I haven't really read that.
Oh, the worst part is he would survive.
I don't know. I'm
Everyone
surprised
gets to-
Superman is still around and survived.
I mean, everyone like at least gets to die after that happens. It's like, oh, something traumatic happened, but don't worry, you don't have to live with it for much longer.
I know.
Where Superman has to walk around forever on having like Vietnam flashbacks of the time something burst out of his chest area.
Well, luckily you didn't see the one about you probably where he was in an alternate universe where he crash landed in Russia.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, the Red Sun.
See, that's a cool idea. That's another, incident where you're rewriting things in a way that, you can easily change things in or out without it just seeming like a cheap ploy for attention.
Yeah. It was kind of fun though.
Oh, a lot of that stuff is very fun when they get really imaginative with it. It's just that, like, taking one step out of the realm of whatever-ish and then not going too far that's always the problem.
Yeah, it was sort of fun, and I have to admit they these crossover stories are always weird.
I want to read Archie versus the Punisher. I haven't read it, but I want to, just because of reasons.
Punisher and Spider-Man, Punisher and Batman. Oh man, I used to remember the Punisher and Batman. I think that was like a book.
No, where I started with comics was that I got a weird pack of comics from Toys R Us. I don't know why Toys R Us had Marvel comic books, but like they just had 20 comics for like $10 or something, and they were selling them pre-packaged so you couldn't see what you were getting. And I got that, and that was like my first chunk of comic books, and it was a crossover between Punisher and Moon Knight. That was one series. Another series was the Punisher in the Vietnam War. and then Guardians of the Galaxy. Or not Guardians of the Galaxy, the Infinity Gauntlet. And the Infinity Gauntlet convinced me the comic books are insane.
Fucking insane, yeah.
And then the minute I saw the Guardians of the Galaxy promo, I just said, okay, they might be insane. The people putting the movies together. And then after coming out of the theater, I realized this is working much better than it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
They have so many weird comic books that you probably like or remember. It's kind of funny that most of them are kind of fun to watch. But anyways, guys, any last words?
Thank you for allowing me to come on to this fun late night hangout where we chill and criticize people's costume choices.
Yeah, and especially comic books and such. Even though we were talking about comic books and costumes and everything, I know we were like spending an hour criticizing outfits and everything. But the issue that we have was pretty much we just want people to understand that it's not cool to censor comics.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it's kind of sad that the artist kind of blocked us for asking that question.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, dude, we're trying to be nice to you, we're trying to be respectful to you, but come on, don't get upset. Don't blame us for that. It's not like it's a PR war. Sure, you lost, but you could have fought it and could have said, "Hey, look, we're just trying to make you understand that we support the fact that you guys need to understand that we support you as artists to freely express how you feel sometimes. But the problem is we're dealing with the other side who doesn't want to deal with that want to censor that."
Yeah.
Go ahead. Any of you guys want to say anything?
No, I've
Sure, I'll talk.
do it. Talk.
That's what I'm good at. I basically just want to say, I said basically weird, but I basically want to say that either everything is okay or nothing is okay.
Yeah.
What stops? Where does it stop? Where's the line drawn? If someone can just be outraged about a comic cover, and suddenly like an entire arc is changed because they don't like the way the arc is going, and suddenly the entire comic is changed because they don't like the way the comic's going. What stops it? What's gonna be the end? We really need to think that freedom of expression is the key. That's the thing that makes stories be stories. How can something mature if we can't talk about things? That simple. If we can't talk about it, how is it going to be mature? It's just going to be just the same old stories rehashed if we can't reach basic normal book status.
And also, even if we were stuck within those same old stories, clearly some of those same old stories aren't allowed either.
Exactly. But the idea is basically, where is the line drawn if we just let everything just get censored? It's that simple. If we get shamed into silence, where will it end? It won't. It's just going to keep going. It's basically a drawbridge. We can't let that happen, and that chills me to the bone, because I know what happened in the past where like old school art was being breast exposed, was basically destroyed. They destroyed art in the past, back in the Dark Ages. They didn't care because it violated religion, and this is a new form of that, a complete new form of that, where they're trying to censor literally everything that slightly offends them. It's not even a big offense, it's just a slight offense.
It's like ISIS. They already destroyed a couple of art museums already.
Yeah.
They already destroyed statues with hammers.
Mm-hmm.
It's just impossible to grasp, and we can't grow as people if we don't have an art that at least goes against the status grain. Status grain is not a word or a phrase, but the status quo. There you go. That's. I went two different phrases to the same phrase. That was weird. Sorry. I'm not all here right now. Okay. Go against the grain, against the status quo is basically what I mean.
Out of lack of you go.
Sorry, I'm playing a video game at the same time as this, and I just lagged.
Oh, I was just gonna add. I'm sorry, Micro, but you're inspiring me to talk
That's
over
fine.
you.
Go ahead. You got the time.
Well, that another important thing to point out is, I think, like Micro's saying, this is leaning towards a level of censorship we've had to deal with in the past, and we thought that we were, sort of done with, that we have moved on from it. And I kind of worry that this group of people that's fighting for censorship in comics doesn't really understand what they're pushing for. And I'm afraid that if they were to get everything censored the way they want it to be censored, I think they might realize then at that point that they've done something horrible. But then it's too late. Then the laws are in place. Then everything's regulated. And I kind of feel like, I don't know, like they somehow don't realize what it is exactly that they're asking for. I think they're focused on the Killing Joke and case-by-case basis, and they don't understand these greater sort of constraints that they're demanding will destroy a lot of things that they probably love.
I concur with you.
Yeah.
I've always said that, and this might be an awkward thing to just randomly put at the end of a stream, but I always felt that because of the way the SJWs are working, and of course, pejorative, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But it's a lot of people that just don't have this kind of like self-esteem about themselves. They see kind of some weird image, like weird imagery that makes them cling on to something that makes them feel amazing. So they feel like they're doing something. They feel like they're being the forefront of some kind of weird action that makes the world change for the better. And what I say, and when it especially happened when I saw Georgie Tate the first time, and of course continuing as every single time I see one, I see like these depressed people who cling on to this because it means something to them. It's a thing. It's something that gives them purpose. And I feel like that's the thing that really scares me, that it's kind of like almost a brainwashing tactic in a way that makes them not see this stuff. And when they finally realize it, they realize slowly that every single one of their friends that they used to have turns on them quickly. And it's just, it hurts because I can kind of
the
see
thing
where they're coming
that
from.
bothered me about it is that they kind of, when Geordie Tate, I was surprised that no one bothered to cast out Geordie Tate when he said those things.
Yeah, but
which
again,
tells me that they basically have no intentions of basically they want us to change, but yet but when someone says something like that,
it's because they see us as the enemy. But the main goal, as I'm saying, is that it's just kind of like this depression that's kind of showing them that being against this common enemy is the thing that forces them to be better. It is this kind of like, I'm the best person because I believe this.
And there's no such thing as the best person. You're always imperfect no matter what you do.
Exactly. And this kind of like train of thought, I can see many people get on if they're in depression, if they feel like they don't mean anything. And that's kind of the way if you kind of hit some bad spots, you start feeling like, oh, I don't mean anything. If you suddenly cling on to this, that's kind of the idea and mindset that you get into. And if you're
pretty
forced
much,
by
some of them
this,
live in denial, from what I saw.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's something that really does hurt me, and
it does bother me enough to see that they pretty much are living in denial because they don't understand that okay, if even if I try to tell Sarah Butts that the sky is blue, she'll probably convince me no, it's not.
I won't have to deal with her because I blocked her before
I
I
know
would ever
because
interact with her.
I know that's what you should. You
Like
should.
it's
You
like
should.
I don't want to
Because
deal with that shit.
she is a creepy person.
I honestly don't. I don't care. Like
Oh,
on their stances, I do. But as the person, I don't want to go against them. Like just now, I got a message by I'm not sure who, but basically saying that the threats were to the people who were opposing the cover and not the artist, which I wasn't aware of since I just came home and saw that thing that
Yeah,
DC said, making it seem as if the threat was to the artist. But I never saw a threat to the people who were offended by it. And so I asked him to link it, and I'm hoping he links it to me because I want to see it because I haven't.
what the writer? No, he's blocking people automatically if you ask.
Right, but no, it's not the writer that said that. It was someone else. He told
the
me
artist, and the writer.
that the threats were to the people. Ha 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 ha. The threats were to the people who objected the cover, not the artist. Is what he responded to me. Um, and I calmly, basically just asked him, please just show me what they were, or show me those threats, because I haven't seen one. And if I can see one, then maybe I can understand. I haven't got a
And
response yet. I'm waiting. But
the response was there was no threats.
no, I really doubt it. I haven't seen a single threat. Why would you threaten a person over a cover?
Yeah, and the guy's response, the writer and the artist's response was there was no threats, none.
Yeah. So
They
it's
just did it. They just
it's really sad when you can censor something by saying, "Oh, I was harassed." The end. Don't
yeah.
question it. Just I was.
And that's what bothered me about that whole story. And that's why I started this whole freaking live stream just for fun of it, just to bullshit and also talk about comic books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even though it's a boring live stream and I know it's not entertaining, but
I had fun.
oh yeah, I had fun too. That's what it's all about. We're having fun trying to, talk about comic books and the
Honestly,
controversy that's happening right now.
I was just really flattered that you invited me in here.
Because you were you were interesting. So was he for
Well,
coming.
he's interesting because he's drunk. And he has a cool icon.
That's not true. I'm interesting when I'm not drunk, and I always have a cool icon.
Okay, fine. Maybe you are interesting. Jeez.
Thank you. Grr.
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 Oh boy. But it's kind of interesting to see how people talk about this issue. And surprisingly, I wanted to make this because the fact is we wanted to talk about the fact that we don't want to destroy art. We don't want to, but it's sad that the guy gave up on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because he probably was secretly fighting it, but he failed and said, "Nah, I'm giving up. I just don't want this stupid fight over this cover. I'm just gonna give up and change it." It's sad that the artist put a lot of work into that thing, and it got people were offended by it. I wasn't offended by it.
No. I wasn't either. I thought it was cool.
I know it was. It looked kind of cool with Joker, having his arms around Batgirl and then just painting her face with a smiley face on it. It was like that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was actually gonna buy it if that was one of the variants. I was gonna buy that variant, but I'm like, oh, I dodged a bullet with the way that the writer's been.
I know, and it's a shame that the people at DC were just like getting getting all these little, oh, I'm offended by this image. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I need an adult.
And you know, some people brought in the think of the children argument. The children never read The Killing Joke. They weren't alive yet. They don't understand that reference. What they see is the Joker has captured Batgirl, and something bad is going to happen. But that's all they know, and that's all they can derive from that image. They haven't gone back and read Alan Moore's editor notes, you know, that are floating around somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
And you know,
or never bothered to interview Alan Moore himself about that.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is this concern and paranoia about a simple cover is wrapped up in so many like assumptions and overanalyzation and just I don't know. I feel like people are investing way too much time into trying to read into things and find whatever message they can in there to immediately discredit something. Like, it's a reference, yes, but I don't know, it doesn't encourage bad behavior. It's just part of the overarching continuity story. It's not as offensive and huge of a deal as they're making it out to be. You know.
Yeah, and they were supposed to, you know, it was just an image. It's just a cover. It's not like it's gonna make people get scared of it. But I do like The Killing Joke. I kept it, the hardcover of it, and I love it.
Well, some people have suggested that supposedly that cover would discourage young girls from reading comic books.
I don't think that would, because
young girls give a shit either way.
Yeah, because it's not for that market. It's for adults. It's for adults.
Well, it doesn't matter either way. If a young girl's gonna read comic books, she's gonna fucking read comic books.
They might as well read the whatchamacallit, the Marvel shoujo mangas.
Well, the lady that was on that other stream, her argument was like that young women would see that cover, young girls would see that cover, and instead of like wanting to pick it up and figure out what's going on, what the context is of that image, that it would somehow petrify them and scare them away from ever coming back to comics. That one image of a bad guy having captured a good guy, something that happens in comic books all the time, that one image, which is very ambiguous and isn't directly hinting at anything beyond the fact that he's caught her and something bad is going to happen, which can be anything, and that's somehow going to make little girls not buy comics and run away and never go back to the scary comic book shop because they once saw a picture that implies a crime, maybe possibly if you really stretch your brain around it.
They probably never ever read Tales from the Crypt.
Well, you know,
the Creep Show.
I'm sorry to get a little agitated over this, but like, when I was growing up, I didn't know what rape was until I was like 12 years old. Like, it's not that I couldn't understand the concept, it just never crossed my mind as a concept.
I can beat you at that till 20.
And the way I found out about rape was that one of my friends of the same age told me that we couldn't go play out in the big field that was overlooked by a bunch of our, fellow friends, parents, whatever houses, because we might get raped out there. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, my mommy told me I can't go anywhere without an adult or I'll be raped. And
Yay,
I I had to have her explain that word to me. Like, what do you mean? And when she explained what is rape, in my head I was like, oh, okay, that's something I've never thought about before, but I can see that that's a crime that exists. But like that concept had to be planted into my head. And I feel like a lot of these social justice warriors are almost planting these thoughts into children's heads. Like, unless a child has been a victim of something like this, they tend not to think about these things. And I feel like it's almost trying to, in a weird, messed up way, it's infringing on childhood innocence in a way to try to tell them about, well, this comic book's about rape, so you shouldn't read it. Well, what's that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I agree with you 100%. It's kind of outrage journalism culture. It's what it is. The news at 11. Your children are getting raped everywhere.
Yeah, and it's just a shame that that book cover just really pissed off a lot of people, made them all fear this is gonna be about rape, isn't it? Oh no.
You know what? On a side note, though, they did fear the Joker enough to pull the cover.
Yeah.
So he
They
kind
might
of
as
did
well
his
not
job,
sell
right?
comics. They might as well not feature Joker ever in
No,
DC.
I mean, like the Joker didn't instill enough fear to make people fear him to get rid of the comic or the cover.
I know, and it's like, okay, Joker's a rapist. We shouldn't be throwing this out there to children anymore. Never. We'll ban Joker off DC Universe. That's what they'll probably do next.
I'd almost like to see it happen as a social experiment.
Yeah, because they'll probably be like, because
That would be
he's just
glorious.
not a real character. But I can imagine them reacting. Oh, the Joker is a rapist and shouldn't be around and we should ban him.
Wait. The Joker isn't real?
Yeah, I know. They're probably
Thank
thinking
God.
that Joker's real, and they don't realize that this is just a story. It's not real. It's just a story.
Wait.
Holy
Hold
fuck,
on.
He was real.
Hold on. I'm getting my fucked right here. Joker isn't real? God
Yeah.
damn it! That's the Joker. That's Santa and Vivian James. Every fucking time I believe in something.
Yeah, because they kind of believe that Vivian James is real or the Joker is real, but it's just made up. It's like if they honestly believe that 4chan has a missile, they have the codes to the missile missile launch codes to Russia. Like,
If 4chan actually did have those, on the one hand I would be absolutely terrified, but then on the other hand I would be strangely surprised that they managed to actually do something.
And knowing 4chan, that's probably the missiles are probably gonna go to the weirdest place fucking ever.
yeah, Canada. No.
Screw Antarctica.
Antarctica, or
no, more likely, screw you, Iceland. You're full of grass.
or Iceland, yeah, or Jamaica,
You've
or
been lying to us long enough.
Zimbabwe.
Or what about that junk island that's floating in the middle of the ocean? It's just a bunch of trash that the tides have sort of pushed together, and it's this floating island of junk.
Jersey. Just joking. But anyways, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, can I say
Thank
one
you for
last thing
having
before we
us.
leave?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, because I'm officially drunk, I get to say something Arby's. Okay.
The
You had to
lights
bring that
over
up.
the Arby's.
Okay, I'm good night, everyone.
No.
Ah, man, I just remember Arby's nearby GameStop.
Oh no.
Yeah, oh no.
Site
They'll
of the perfect
probably
crime.
make that joke about that. They're gonna blame me for something that happened a long, long time ago, back in '96. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.